Welcome to the Boxing Day Beautiful Game Special. As always, I am Blake here with Ferris. Hola. And Ron.
Was that, Ferris?
I don't know.
What's
There's
happening?
excitement from Boxing Day fixtures, soccer, clop. You got it all.
Yeah, I know, man. It's been what a day. The Boxing Day fixtures are still going on. Brighton and Arsenal at this point are still playing, and then we have Chelsea and Watford. After
Radio
that,
Watford.
we don't get that much in Radio Watford. But we're going to talk a little bit about some of the matches that have happened just prior, as well as the ones that we just saw, as well as really why we like the Boxing Day special is an excuse to go through 3 different holiday beers.
Always the best.
Hell to the yeah.
Although we've been going through quite a few beers lately.
Yes, we have been.
Yeah, but they've been little things here and there, and we've gone through Lakeman Brewing,
I'm not complaining.
and then what was the other one last week?
And was another New Zealand beer.
Monteith's.
That's right. You guys have gifts if you want to open real quick.
Okay.
I was really excited when I found these. I was like, oh, because I'd wanted to get these earlier so you can open at the same time because they're the same thing.
Okay.
You ready?
Yep.
But this isn't something we'll have on this pod because obviously you can hear some clanking around in there. But maybe we'll use these glasses for later.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, fun.
These popped out during the World Cup and they disappeared so fast. And then one of the beverage stores near us actually had these. So I managed to snag a couple of those.
Brewed in Bavaria. I said
Erdinger.
Erdinger?
Yeah, so it's Erdinger. It's a 5-pack of Erdinger plus a big
that's
soccer
so cool.
trophy looking
Those
glass.
are awesome.
So it kind of is reminiscent of the World Cup trophy, not exactly like it, but a big tall Pilsner glass with a giant soccer ball as the top part of it.
That's awesome. Thanks,
Yeah.
man.
Erdinger.
Yeah, I thought those
Good
are
beer.
fun.
We've had 2 of theirs.
Yes, we have.
Yeah.
So anyway, I was very excited when I walked in and saw that they had, I guess, found some or whatever because those were gone during the World Cup.
Damn, that's cool.
Those are great.
But
Thank you.
not glasses to really be used for today. I have some glasses to the side for today, which I'll just hand you guys your glasses so you got those now.
Grazie.
It's because we're gonna do some Christmas and holiday beers today. But importantly, before we get to all the soccer talk, as we go into this beer talk, our first Christmas beer. And I'll warn you, it's going to pack a wallop. This comes actually from one of our listeners, Matthew Call, who we had talked about recently about him. He's lived in Atlanta for years, but now he lives out in Portland. He was a Portland supporter before he moved to Atlanta, but got to see Atlanta get created. So then he actually got to go and sit with the Timbers at the MLS Cup game in Atlanta. So he sent us an awesome Christmas package that arrived Christmas Eve.
Wow.
Awesome. Full of some awesome beers. But first, Ron, if you'll just lift up some of the bubble wrap, you'll see one thing he gave us there. So we know not to give it to Ferris first because he says he starts slow with the reading. Yep.
Oh, he gave us a book called Craft Beer Country.
Oh,
and it's
cool.
all about West Coast best brewing from South Pacific to the Pacific Coast. So it covers Alaska, Hawaii, California, Nevada, Idaho, Oregon, and Washington.
That's very cool.
That's pretty slick.
Yeah, and he's actually got some details about that in here. I will. And by the way, the beer package is amazing. It's 6 individual beers that he put each one in a Ziploc bag, duct tape the cap just to make sure, then put bubble wrap around each one, then put that inside of a garbage bag. That it was
awesome.
It's a great package. So cool. We're actually going to do 2 varieties of beers are in there. We're going to do one today because one of them is a holiday. We'll save the next one for another pod. But here's Matt's email. Blake, Ferris, and Ron, what's up, guys? Hope you all are in the midst of a wonderful holiday season and are enjoying some quality craft beers and hopefully some whiskeys as well. On Monday, December 24th, you should be receiving a craft beer package from me. I've so enjoyed listening to your pod over the past couple of years and getting to meet you two next time, Ron, that I wanted to send you guys some beers from my new home, the Pacific Northwest. And boy, there are plenty of breweries out there. He goes on to describe the first beer. I'm going to skip that one since we're not going to have that one this go around. So the second beer is from a Portland institution, the Hair of the Dog Brewing Company, which was founded in 1993 with the purpose of providing beer lovers with new and unusual beer styles. I also love that Matt basically wrote out what we do as we introduce beers. So this is perfect. So naturally, he says, I thought this would be a good brewery for you guys to try. This is one of the first breweries I visited as a new Portlandian, Doggie Claws. So Ron, if you'll reach in there and grab the Doggie Claws, it's the
That's cool.
It's the 3 with like the gold top, I believe. Yeah.
There's
So
one.
Doggie Claws, here you go, Mr. Ferris.
Oh, well, we each get one. Wow.
Yeah. So that's,
Sweet.
He says, so Doggie Claws, that's got to make it into one of Blake's dad's jokes somehow, is a barley wine style ale with an ABV of 11.5% and has a beer advocate score of 4.14. I've not actually tried this beer yet, but I bought a 4th one so I can try it with you guys as well. As it's a holiday beer release in November, I was also intrigued by its labeling with the dog and Santa Claus hat flanked by menorahs. I am Jewish after all. He said, I hope you enjoy these beers. There are so many great breweries here, including a 10-barrel Rogue, Widmer. There's the Deschutes, Breakside, Ecliptic, Old Town. Man, there's a ton. There's so many beers up there. Good grief. He said also included, this talks about the book in the package, is the book Craft Beer Country in Search of the Best Breweries from the South Pacific to the Pacific Coast by Kirk Richardson. I found this book, he said, while at one of the breweries from the first beer we're going to try later, and picked up a copy for myself as well as you guys. This is just the first book in a 4-part series as he travels the entire country. So I'm sure he'll be heading your way in the near future. Those are the stories for about 30 different breweries along the West Coast up to Alaska.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So he's got some stuff he want to talk about the MLS Cup, but I figured we just talked about the beer. So we should crack the beer open, try the beer first, and then we'll get his little report from his experience at the MLS Cup.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's that's like our on the road correspondent.
Do we have our cool popper toppers?
Oh, I didn't snag mine. I'll go get it.
Okay.
Whoa. My mom gave you guys.
That's true.
Ma Dukes.
It's Ron, mine is on the little gray table. Yes.
And I got one too, but I just like the holiday beer that I forgot. So Matt, thanks for having my back here and just kind of knowing that I would forget my holiday beer.
This is true.
I forgot my awesome cap opener at home.
Matt saved Boxing Day.
Yes, you did.
But yeah, so Ferris's Ma Dukes, she gave each of us a gift of these cool bottle openers. I don't know how to explain it. It's like cylindrical. It pushes all the way in and clamps over the top.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
I don't know. We'll try it out.
Have not used it yet.
It was very pod gift heavy today. All right, so let's crack this first of the. It says, Hair of the Dog Brewing Company produces bottle-conditioned beers which improve with age. We are dedicated to providing the beer lover with new and unusual beer styles. And everything they make is bottle-conditioned. It's all designed to be aged if you want it.
There's a ton of sediment in the bottom. You can see it through the bottle.
And it says Doggie Claws has a deep copper color, an intense herbal hop character. We only use whole Northwest hop flowers along with locally gathered honey to give this beer a unique balance of flavor. This beer is ready to drink now, but will improve with age. Ooh, I do want to read you one quick thing from their website that I think you guys will dig. I was surprised to see this as I was looking at like what it is they do, and they had a little bit of their history. So they use here we go. This is what it is. We are also dedicated to buying local products for both the brewery and the restaurant in an effort to keep as much of our money in our community. We work directly with farmers whenever possible and are proud to say that 99% of all ingredients we use are produced within a 350-mile radius of the brewery.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
It's like really cool.
You really are drinking local.
Yes.
When you drink
absolutely.
there. That's great.
That's awesome.
All right. So let's see how this
11% ABV. Did we mention that?
11.5 technically. Yep. Oh, that's so cool. So you press down, it popped. What? Okay, this little thing your mom gave us is fun to use.
I can't wait.
You literally just press it down, it like clamps over.
Oh, that is super good.
Look at that.
Now, we're so easily amused.
And it doesn't deform the cap either.
So
What the hell? That's
cool. I'm sure if we go back, we're at episode 109, we could look at the beer list. We've done a barley wine I'd be sure of before. But we haven't done many if we have.
Very few if we've done one.
I don't know if we've actually done a barley wine, to be honest.
So this Hair of the Dog, if we've done like one. So this is Hair of the Dog Brewing Company, Portland, Oregon, Doggie Claws. All right. It smells delicious.
Ooh. It's pouring really, really cloudy. And,
well, so for those of you who don't know, bottle conditioned means that as opposed to conditioning in its vats or whatever, it literally, it finished its brewing process, for lack of a better term, in the bottle.
Yeah, finishing the fermentation.
Yeah, so you'll see at the bottom of the bottle, there'll be like a sediment of yeast.
Yep.
Like Ron said, a lot of times the beer looks a little cloudier. Ooh, it smells
so
good. This is going to be one, too, that as it warms up, I imagine will.
Oh, it's going to get super flavorful.
That's why I figured we'd start with this guy first.
And an 11%er. Ooh.
Yeah. Just throwing that out there.
This could pose a little bit of an issue.
Yeah, it smells like, I smell like raisins, and there's a lot of smells going on here.
There's a bit of like marzipan smell in that.
Yeah. I mean, this smells like the holidays.
Yeah, a little bit of spice too, like maybe a dash of clove, maybe.
Let's see. It says it's Northern hop flowers along with locally gathered honey to give the beer a unique balance and flavor.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, the honey is...
Yeah, I definitely smell the honey.
And an intense herbal hop. All right, gentlemen.
All right.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Cilantro.
Happy holidays. Thank you,
Thanks, Matt,
so much.
Yeah, thanks, sir.
This is fantastic. Whoa. Ooh, this is a beer for sipping.
Oh, yeah.
Sitting back and enjoying. Ooh.
That's a full bottle of 11.5%.
Ferris, I think I'd sit on a porch with a cigar and this.
Oh, hell yeah.
This is like.
Hell yeah.
Oh, man.
Man, it really opens up.
People always say, like, Guinness is like drinking a loaf of bread. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
This is, and I mean that as a complete compliment.
A very good loaf of bread.
That malty, like, sweet.
Yeah. And then it's got like that spicy finish kind of on the back of your tongue.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
This is awesome, Matt, because this is not something we could snag. This is one of their limited runs at the holidays. You have to be there to get it. This is awesome. Which that's now our second Christmas beer like that, because we had our magical Christmas unicorn one from Australia. That was a similar boat. Man.
Gentlemen, we've been able to get our hands on some pretty crazy good beers.
The beer game really stepped up in the last half of this year. It's on.
Yeah, we've had, I mean, sending out local beer is fantastic. It gives us a chance to try something that we wouldn't even have a chance to try here.
Yeah, but I'm
wouldn't
going to
even
be
around.
I can't wait to try the other brewery he sent us, because now I just want a trip to Portland. Man, that's good. So before we get to Premier League stuff, Matt just wanted to give his sort of experience at the MLS Cup.
I'm excited.
Yeah,
this
that's
is like
again,
listener correspondent action.
Yeah.
So he was one of what, 900 people that got a Portland ticket? What was the stat on that?
Yeah, 1,300.
1,300. Oh, that's right, because it was up.
So here he says, on to the MLS Cup. Like Blake said during the last podcast, I traveled back to Atlanta for the MLS Cup. Atlanta United, Portland Timbers. How could I miss that? The team I have loved for the past 7 years, admittedly still a newbie to soccer, against the new kids on the block in the city I spent the past 10 years in. I was rooting for the Timbers as I did back in June when they tied 1-1, but of course there was still a piece of me that is happy for Atlanta United and its supporters. I was at the MLS announcement of MLS Atlanta and went to its first ever game in Chattanooga, the 4-0 win with goals by Villalba, Assad, Joseph, and Carlton. Went to its first ever regular season MLS match, 2-1 loss to New York Red Bulls on an own goal. Went to the All-Star game this year at MBS.
Man, he went to a lot.
Yeah.
That's cool.
After spending Friday night and Saturday morning with friends, I headed to the Timbers Army tailgate in 45-degree rainy and windy weather. There's been some rainy tailgates in Atlanta before, but nothing quite like this. While it was certainly a fun time meeting and hanging out with the members of the Army, I was most disappointed that Atlanta United put us on the complete opposite end of the stadium from the other supporters groups. In the past, visiting supporter groups were always tailgated in the same general area as the Terminus Legion faction and other supporter groups tailgates. It's the best time to meet other fans and share some brews before the game starts. And in my situation, I was hoping to see a bunch of friends all at once. But that just was not possible. I guess Atlanta United was worried about fighting. I don't know. Security escorted the Timbers Army in the stadium at 5 p.m. for an 8 p.m. start. What the heck are we going to do for 3 hours before the game in an empty stadium in the third level? Well, drink.
That's about all there is to do at that time.
I had some friends that got into the stadium around 5:36, so I was able to connect with them once inside. For the game, it played out pretty much like I expected. Atlanta United is an unbelievably talented team. There can't be any denying that. But the Timbers played one of the worst halves I've seen from them in a long time. Passing was worse than some middle school teams, and one of those awful passes led directly to the opening goal. I didn't hear much about him afterwards, but I was really impressed with the way Nagby played. His ball handling and passing are always good, but he was taking some shots that he doesn't normally take, but has all the skill talent to make and take them. Timbers played much better in the second half, but just couldn't squeeze out a goal. I haven't gone back and watched replay of the game, but I plan on doing so. Obviously, it was frustrating to travel across country to watch them lose, but I was happy that they had made it that far. They were playing with the third string striker after Adi was traded by Sensi and Armenteros hurt. I expect them to make significant moves in the offseason to add to the front line, and hopefully they bring in some new defenders. I love Ridgewell, but I think his time is up.
Yeah, he's up there in age a bit.
Yeah. Never been a fan of Powell. Villafana and Valentin are good left back, right back. All in all, it was a fun weekend. Glad I was able to make it there, even with an 8:30 a.m. flight home the next morning.
Oof. Ooh, that's rough.
Oh, man. I've seen some negative comments from Timbers Army on other facets of the weekend. Example, complaining about music inside the stadium that the Atlanta fans and the Atlanta United fans and culture. But I honestly haven't read much into it. Feels like a little bit of sour grapes. Atlanta United's culture is different from Timbers and different from any other MLS team. Don't be pissy about it. Just accept it and be happy that the league is better with it.
Yep.
Parentheses, I realize I'm sending this to OCSC supporters. He said, I had supporters yelling that soccer wasn't meant to be played in large stadiums like the MBS. Why am I losing?
Mercedes-Benz.
Mercedes, thank you. Mercedes-Benz Stadium, but that it should be played in smaller stadiums like Providence Park. That's just crazy. You don't hear those complaints when it's an international match or during ICC matchups. Now the whole ticket allotment was a complete disgrace for sure, as was whatever happened with the Timbers Army drum. But no matter what team you support, you have to be impressed with what Atlanta United built in just 4 years. And yes, Blank spent money. If he didn't, people would be pissed at him. But he, and obviously more so Darren Eels and Carlos, I must say this wrong, Bosanagra.
Carlos Bocanegra.
Ferris with every name but Pulisic, always. Hit on just about every player. They really hit on just about every player they picked. I imagine most MLS fans never heard of Joseph Martinez or Almiron or Villalba before the last year, and now at least two of these guys may end up playing in Premier League next season. That's great for the MLS. Okay, wow. I wrote you guys a book. Sorry about that. If you have gotten this far, let me just say thanks for reading. Thanks for the great and hilarious work you guys do for the podcast. I tell everyone about the pod, so hopefully it's translating to new listeners. Love the beer. Cherish the game. Slanja. Matthew Call.
That's
well done, man. Awesome, right?
Thank you so much. That is great.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Man, so awesome. Good report from someone there. And I think Matt likes listening to us because we're of the same ilk of like, people shut up and chill out.
Yeah.
It's good. Like,
just enjoy it.
It might not have been your team that made it, but it's good
just
that stadium
it.
had 70-some thousand people in it. And
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. It's good for the sport.
And that's good. Like, he took, not only did he take time, did he spend cash to get all the way across country to go see that game, but then left with such a positive outtake on it. It wasn't,
well, I did
his
text
team
him,
lost and there was this negativity, and I got on the plane the next day at 8:30. It was a positive account of the game with a couple of small things here and there, but just enjoying what the MLS, what Atlanta, what the league has built thus far. Very cool.
I mean, I did send him a DM on Twitter that day of game. I was like, it's like not fair. In a way, you kind of get to be happy anyway. This game goes right. You'll never be able to go to a championship like that again.
Right.
Like, that's so awesome.
Chances are that's not going to happen very often.
But good grief.
That's awesome.
Sorry you moved so far away from us over to the West Coast, so visits become harder, but this beer is amazing.
I was going to say thanks for the beer.
Yeah, this beer is awesome.
No complaints there.
I think we just have to make a Portland trip at some point.
Hey, I'm all right with that.
Do a little beer vacation.
Ron and I made a Seattle trip.
Yeah.
Portland's not too far away.
No, it's not.
No, we and in fact we tried to figure out if there was was it a Portland or a Seattle?
Yeah, it was a Seattle game. They were playing, I think, Sporting KC that Sunday. We got back from the cruise. Yeah, but you know, it would be cool if sometime how we can plan it next year to kind of make it a long weekend of going to Portland and see a Seattle Portland game up there. That would be cool.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
That'd be cool. See if we
Pacific Northwest Derby.
See if we can marching of the Timbers Army.
Fly out like early on Friday, and if the game's on Saturday night or just Sunday, spend some time there and then fly
Even
back.
If you couldn't get in the game,
Sunday or
just to hang out in the city,
yeah, that'd
the
be cool.
Pubs and watch.
Yeah,
see Matt and just kind of hang out, and yeah, that'd be cool. I don't think the schedule's dropped yet, but
no, not yet.
I'll keep my eye on that because that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, just the home matches have dropped so far.
Thanks again, though, Matt. This is awesome, dude.
Yeah, well done, man.
Thank you very much.
You.
Man, this beer, as it's warming up, good grief. Now, the way this beer tastes, it's probably going to take us a second to get to the next beer, which is probably good.
Yeah.
But
considering that it was, 11.5%.
Luckily, the next one takes a dip.
Mine
before we go back.
I think a lot of beers at this point would take a dip.
Mine is high.
Doesn't. Yeah. So we're going to do his third. Yeah. So That's a pretty good start to the Boxing Day special so far.
Hell yeah.
I love we got a listener. We've had a lot of listener beers this year.
Yeah.
Tons.
It's been a good 2018. I guess we're not doing this again this year, as I say that.
Oh, yeah. This is
It's the last one this year.
last up. Yeah.
Ron flies out to Japan, comes back on the 1st, so we'll do another one when he gets back for 2019.
Yeah.
Whole new year, man. Whole new year. Whole new club at the top of the table.
That's what we eventually got to this past few
Yep.
weeks. Yeah.
Wow. Oh, man, this freaking beer is good. It's so good. So I guess we should move on to some Premier League. So we want to talk a little bit about, before we get to the Boxing Day matches, we'll talk a little of the top 5 from week 18 just prior. Is that the idea there?
Yeah.
I think we have to because your holiday headlines.
They're amazing.
Pretty
So
good.
I tossed together some headlines based off of our favorite quotes from one of our favorite pod movies, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. So we tossed together some stuff. But yeah, week 18 was the week that started off the festive fixtures, as NBC-SN likes to call it.
40 games and
40 games and 20-some days, or however it is. So, yeah. Pretty cool. And it started off on a Friday, right, Ron? Because we were able to get out of work early. And
It did, yeah. We ran over to watch Wolves Liverpool at like 2:30 on this past Friday.
And we also watched Borussia Dortmund and Borussia Mönchengladbach, number 1 and 2 in the Bundesliga.
Yeah, that was a fun match.
Yeah, and Dortmund
Now, as
stay atop of the
you
Bundesliga.
went to watch this Liverpool Wolves match. At this time, Liverpool was how far ahead were they
They weren't ahead yet.
on the table?
They were in second going into this game.
Right.
I think a win, and City hadn't played yet, pushed them just above City by a point, maybe? Does that
I
sound
think
right?
it was by 2.
By 2 points?
I think they were below City by 1 point.
Okay.
Right. That makes sense.
And this was a fun match to watch. The Wolves, despite the score line, the Wolves weren't that easy. The Liverpool wins 2-0, but the Wolves really did put up a fight for at least the first half, even though they played the majority of the half down 1-0.
But scoring on Liverpool is hard.
Yeah, without
Which
question.
is very hard this year, yeah.
7 goals or something? 8? Like they have not
It's
let
something
many.
ridiculous, and they've gone like shutout to shutout to shutout. Wolves, I think, should have gotten something from the first half.
Yeah.
And I know it's not easy to score against the Liverpool defense at the current moment, but Wolves, they did have a very good half. It was a good Salah goal in the 18th minute, some good feet work there, and just a nice clean finish.
With the outside of Salah's boot,
that's right.
He just didn't care. It was a really nice cross on the ground, and he just kind of flicked it over that direction, kind of like you'd brush rocks out of your way on the pavement. It was pretty incredible.
But yeah, Wolves playing at home, you'd think they'd get a little bit of they definitely put in the effort, and I think they should have deserved something from that first half. Whether it was going into 1-1 and then Liverpool pulls away, but nonetheless, Wolves didn't get anything from the first half. And second half, Liverpool just too strong and just was able to hold the Wolves out, and Van Dijk kind of just doing what he does in the box off of a corner and scored himself a goal to make it 2-0, and pretty much from there on out, it was all Liverpool and just seeing out the 3 points.
And this is also what Liverpool does. Liverpool has had quite a few matches where they're up 1-0, but it's still a close match, and then they just seem to pull away in the second half.
Well, the other team gets tired or whatever. They still like they've just started the game.
Yeah. And also I would say that the way Klopp makes subs, particularly Shaqiri comes on like a bolt of lightning, and he just completely fractures a defense and opens up so many holes for Salah and Mane and himself and Firmino, and so many people can score on that team. Once he comes on and adds that extra bit of speed and cleverness and sight to the attacking, teams just seem to crumble out.
We did say something wrong in the beginning.
What's
I'm glad you said Shaqiri. I went, wait, no, they were up at this point on the top of the table, because of the previous game with Shaqiri goals, they ended week 17, 45 points. Man City had 44. So as you guys went to see the Wolves-Liverpool game, Liverpool was at top by one point.
Were they?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was like, well, I think it's been.
I thought they were down 1.
No, they were up by 1. They were because of the Shaqiri win in week 17.
Gotcha.
So yeah, so they were ahead, but only by 1 point, 1 goal. And it should be noted.
Oh, that was the Liverpool match that got
and Man United
got Jose sacked. That's right.
Yes, and at that time Liverpool had a 32 goal differential. Man City had a 38. They were still sitting in second, so Liverpool's up by a point, but not enough to panic in Man City yet.
Right.
Prior to this week 18.
Right.
That's that. There we go. Just to, in case anyone listens and goes, wait a minute. Yeah, that's not right.
And Shaqiri actually didn't come on in this game, and they don't think they really needed him, but the impact that he's had off the bench this year, going back to that United game, he started today. He, for what Blake were you saying, is $17 million signing?
Yeah, it's
that's like
crazy.
unheard of in nowadays game.
Shaqiri got a goal today.
Yeah, he's just a super sub, has talent, has speed, is stocky, is built. You know, not the best. He won't track back.
But
he
don't
won't
forget
do
about
any hard work. But he has talent and he has skill. And fitting in with this Liverpool team, he fits in very nicely. And it just adds depth to their entire team.
Yeah. Instead of adding a name, Klopp added somebody that fit into the club.
Right. And, I think another big note is there's a lot of talk after this game about Van Dijk being the best in the world at the current time. Well, hold on a second. Could he be the best defender in the world? Quite possibly. He has come in and he has really just been the talisman at the back for this team. They have only conceded, 7 goals, have several games where they just put up blank scores and they just hold other teams at bay. And he got one here, and it wasn't off a corner. Actually, it was off of just kind of a play, and the ball got swung in. But how he's been able to really shore up this back line is awesome. And there was a play in this game that was so small and just so you wouldn't really notice it, but it was a play down the side. And Van Dijk kept pace with, I don't remember who it was. It was just a winger for Wolves that had a lot of pace. Well, it may have been Traore, and he just kept pace and played him so smartly. He didn't have to put in a tackle. He didn't have to use his arms to push somebody off the ball. He tracked him back, kept pace, which for a center back is awesome. And he won the ball cleanly, played a smart pass out. And it's such a simple play that you kind of miss in a game going back and forth. But that's what Liverpool needed. Needs somebody that can keep a calm, cool head and has a lot of skill and was able to defend. Van Dijk has all of that. So he's probably not the best in the world right now, but the best defender in the world? Possibly.
I concur.
Yeah, he's done a lot. Obviously,
I mean, there's been a lot of talk about him being, like a Premier League MVP. I mean, he's been fantastic.
Which I don't think the last defender and Liverpool defender to win the FA Player of the Year was Stevie Nicol several years back for Liverpool. So who knows if he keeps us up for the entire season? He might.
I feel like you need to read your holiday headline. I love that. Like, if you really know Christmas Carol, you'll get all of these.
Christmas Vacation.
I mean, Christmas Vacation.
Christmas Vacation. All right. So these not my best work, but here we go. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. Kiss City's ass, kiss Klopp's ass, kiss Spurs ass. Happy festive fixtures.
So great.
The next one for the holiday headline, I had to read it a couple times to go, oh, I get it. And this is for the Arsenal-Burnley match. Arsenal at home hosting Burnley. Arsenal wins 3-1 because they are never going to have a shutout. Not this year. But a pretty, I guess typical for how Burnley has been. But really good game for Aubameyang, who gets a brace. Iwobi back up on the scoreboard.
Not Arsenal's best game.
No.
Just a little too strong for Burnley.
The scoreline makes it seem like they were more dominant than they were.
Yeah,
yes.
Right.
Yes.
And Arsenal right now just struggling with the back line. They're just trying to patch together something of a defense. And
they just gave the list of who is out for injuries right now before we came in here, and it's just depressing to hear every name on that list.
It's depressing because of how Arsenal was playing and what they could potentially play under Emery right now. We're not really seeing it because they don't have defenders playing at the back.
They got like midfielders back there. They got
Xhaka was playing in the back one week, right? So it's not something that Arsenal is used to. They have a nice run of games here to where Burnley's not offensively going to really push them that hard to where a center defensive midfielder is going to be so out of position there at the back that Burnley's just going to run all by him. You definitely don't want to go up against this here and what went on Saturday, which might be bad for Arsenal because this Saturday they play Liverpool.
Yeah, that's going to be rough.
But did you guys see after this game how just livid Sean Dyche was?
He was. Emery came up, gave him a handshake, and like he
wanted to walk off so bad.
He
basically just walked off while he was talking, and Emery had to like bring him back to talk to him.
Yeah, Emery wasn't doing anything weird or celebrating any. That's not sort of his game of like. Celebrating, but you know what I mean.
He's all class. He wasn't doing anything bad at all. He was just trying to talk to the manager.
Well, and I get it. I think a lot of it has to do with just Sean Dyche's and Burnley's just so frustrated this year so far because they haven't been playing up to. But he had some good points. There was a penalty in this that should have been called. That was not. The two-handed push from Xhaka on the back of one of the Burnley players. Blatant. Two-handed, arms extended, push. The ball gets played into that attacker. It should have been a pen. So he's not wrong. And Burnley up there have gone 61 matches, maybe 62 after today with.
It's fine if you
zero penalties called for them.
Be upset that you didn't get that penalty called, but be upset if you lost like 2-1 at the very end.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I agree to that. I agree with that a lot. It's in the NFL for American football. Don't blame it on the refs for your 27-0 loss on one penalty they didn't call.
Yeah. It feels right. I agree.
But that's where I think it goes. It's more just a built-up frustration of the entire year, kind of coming out right here because this is not a Sean Dyche move. We haven't really had too many. Mourinho-esque post-match interviews with Dyche.
You think he keeps his job after the year?
Yes, I think regardless of what happens this year, he will keep his job because right now he
I don't know who Burnley would get.
Who would they get? And Dyche is just viewed as and
they might have gotten lucky. I think he's a good coach who's having a struggle, but since he's on a team like Burnley, they won't fire him, which is good because another club might get rid of him, right? But they'll hold on to a quality manager in that respect.
And I think, like I said, it was odd from Dyche, and I don't think he was necessarily blaming that they lost on the refs. He was just saying there is some very poor calls that were not called in this game. And hey, give us a little bit of a break here. We've gone 61 games without a pen being called on, for us. Like, give us something here. We need something because right now we just keep sliding down the table and Burnley needs to do something to get it turned around quick.
Yeah, they have a very lethargic team this season. The work rate isn't very high. Burnley's of past were always such. They were aggressive to the ball. Even if they were losing, they were still fighting for every 50-50 ball. They were still taking chances. This Burnley is not that way this season.
And they are currently sitting in 18th in the relegation zone.
That's not good.
You think he gets relegated, he gets fired, though?
No. Because then who are you going to get to hopefully bring them back up?
I don't think...
Because if you sack him, he's under contract. So you have to pay him, plus another manager to come in. Plus you're going to lose out on the TV cash coming in from going down. You don't want another Sunderland. So I think regardless of what happens, he stays. But he tried in this game. He went with a back five, and Mee's not playing up to par.
They've got a negative. They have a negative 24.
That's what I mean.
Differential.
That's what I mean. And their midfield of Cork and Hendrick are not doing it this year. They're slow. They're lethargic. They don't have any sort of playmaking in the midfield, and their back line is Swiss cheese right now. And honestly, I don't think Joe Hart helps it whatsoever.
No, those tunnel talks aren't enough.
He's been at West Ham. He's been at Torino since he's left Manchester City, and he's not the same keeper. And it's sad.
Well, he also doesn't.
He's not helping at all.
Not the same players in front of him either. By any stretch.
Well, that's true.
Comparatively. I like your headline. The Gunners. The Blasting. Grace died 12 years ago. Love it. This moves us over, speaking of Arsenal, to a very good game for Arsenal. Chelsea at home host Leicester City in a sweet gray and orange kit that we all agreed we dug. But it's a Vardy party. Big old goose egg for Chelsea, 1 goal for Leicester City. This kind of was a surprise.
Yeah, this was, especially...
But Leicester City's not done with surprises yet.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
This was in a string of chances for Chelsea and a string of games where they don't quite put all their chances away. We had a bunch off the crossbar. We had a few come off the post, like the dual post ricochet, where it goes into one post, goes all the way across the net, hits the other post and bounces out.
It's the one that makes you throw your Xbox controller across the rim.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
And Alonso has to bury that late chance he had there.
Yeah.
Has to bury
Yeah. I mean, the entire team has had a couple of games of that. We had the lion's share of the chances in this match. We had 72% of the possession. We had
well, you know what though? When Leicester City made its run to the Premier League Championship, that was a typical stat for them, was to have like 40% of possession.
Sure.
And then they seeded the rest of the other club, but they still won. So
right, mostly on counters. But
this is kind of how they looked a little old school Leicester in this match.
But this is a repeat of a few of the Chelsea. The same thing happened in Wolves when we lost to the Wolves 3 weeks ago. We outshot them, we outpossessed them, and we just couldn't put our chances away. If we put all of the chances that were close away, this game would have been 4-1. So it's not panic time for Chelsea. We're still creating a lot of chances.
You need to win today. I think if you don't win today, if you were to lose today,
I
think they'd start to.
Yeah, and we play Watford, who is doing well at the moment.
Yeah, but still, you feel like Chelsea should beat them, but it's not an easy game.
Correct.
And on the Foxes side of things, they got to win here, which they needed, because Claude Puel was really on the hook here. He was probably a couple games, if not maybe this game, away from being sacked. And he came through with a really big win and relied on somebody that the club has kept and who's wanted to stay there, and Jamie Vardy to get them there. They can get a few more of these, and we'll get into a game they played today. Claude Puel could keep his job. I don't think right now that club needs to sack a manager. It's already a little bit in disarray to the tragic passing of their owner. I don't think you need to add to that from sackings and just a bad feel around the club. So I hope the Foxes continue to get some points here. And
well, clearly this game lifted their spirits, because we'll talk about their next match that happened today in just a little bit. I do want to throw out just real quick. We don't talk about the game, but we should give. Speaking of teams turning stuff around, it was against Huddersfield, but Southampton won that week as well. 3-2.
Second game in a row. Yeah.
Second week in a row.
Which I think 3-2, second week in a row as well.
Under Klopp's cousin.
Yeah, right. So,
I mean, he's not really Klopp's cousin.
Right now, the fans,
sure,
right.
But man, he looks like so much fun.
And the fans are loving him down there on the South Coast.
That looked like a guaranteed relegation.
Yeah.
And so that's huge.
Long year.
That's huge. I'm just as excited as to see their switch from Man United switching their coach, like seeing the clubs turn around. Oh, wait a minute. What's the holiday headline? You got this one, Ron?
Sure.
The Chelsea Leicester match. Sorry.
This is pretty good. Well done, Ferris. Can't see the win, can you, Chelsea?
Nope. Sure can, Dad. Oh, God, I love that movie.
We're slowly turning this pod into the Christmas vacation pod.
I have no problem with that, by the way.
I think
Zero problem with that.
every year we should do one special where we just watch Christmas Vacation and review
And do
it.
like live commentary as we go. Yeah.
So this moves over to probably the game of the friggin' week.
What a match.
Home for Man City hosting Crystal Palace.
And probably the goal of the year in this game, too.
And Man City loses 3-2.
What the what? Wow.
What is going on in Pep world?
Okay, not only did they lose, they lost at the Etihad.
To
Yeah,
Crystal
they lost.
Palace. This isn't. If they say they lose to like an Arsenal, you'd go, holy crap, with no defense. I'm amazed that Arsenal won that game, but man, Crystal Palace, the way Man City's been playing, it's almost inexcusable, especially with the bench they have.
Yeah.
It is just.
And
They just didn't bury. They're having a bit of a Chelsea problem in this match. They just didn't bury enough chances. They had 78% of the possession. They outshot them 19-5. They just kept creating chances they did not put away.
And not their strongest lineup out, but still a really, really strong lineup. Laporte, Otamendi, Delph, Kyle Walker, Stones, Bernardo Silva, Ilkay Gundogan, Gabriel Jesus, Leroy Sané, and Raheem Sterling. All like that's a strong lineup. And their subs off the bench: Aguero, De Bruyne, and Mahrez. Even if you swap that and you started those three and then subbed in Sané, Jesus, and Gundogan, that's still. I mean, it's like for Ike in a lot of respects. You got to get the win here if you're City, especially seeing what Liverpool is doing and having that kind of battle for first in the league at the current time. You got to keep pace, and losing to Palace is not the definition of keeping pace.
And this would see Liverpool go 4 points ahead when these fixtures are done above Man City at the time. Now all of a sudden it's a 2-game lead.
Yeah, and this is the type of win, or this is the type of game that Man City.
No, you said it right.
Man, no.
I was trying to say should have, and
I almost threw that into one of these headlines.
Man City.
He's full.
Man City should have just rolled right over Crystal Palace and moved on,
Especially at home. Like that's the thing that's most shocking is you got to get the win here. Now, there were a couple. Yes, there was a pen, which gave Palace the third goal. But and
that was a dumb
Townsend
penalty.
goal in this game, in the 35th, get a chance, go wherever, and we'll watch this goal about 35 yards out. And this
beautiful,
just could not have been hit more perfectly with the left foot. Upper 90, a lot of pace, a little bit of swerve to it, and just beautifully striked. And that was the second goal. And at that point, you kind of thought something was going to happen and City just wasn't going to be able to get back. And that lead, that 2-1 lead, lasted all the way until actually the 51st to when Palace got the penalty.
And that was a dumb penalty, dude. That was a dumb penalty.
And then they were up 3-1. And then De Bruyne comes on and brings a goal back, but a little too late at that point because that was an 85th.
I don't know, though. It was 85th, but I will say at 2-3, I thought, oh, my God, Man City's going to draw this. Like, I really thought this will show the mettle of the team, and though they shouldn't have ever been down this, they'll at least get a point out of it. That was not the case.
These are the matches that you regret. Being a team like Man City, you're going to regret this in like March.
Yep.
April.
That's a point or 3 you should have had.
Yep. That's when you're really going to start regretting not having taken care of this type game.
And this is kind of this could be the problem with City is they have so much talent, but they just get a little bit lackadaisical in terms of the play, and there's no real urgency there with them sometimes. Yes, they play beautiful football. They ping it around. They're pacey. They score goals. But when they're behind, can they get stuck in and really play with an urgency to get that goal? Sometimes they can, sometimes they don't. They're not consistent in doing that.
And you know, here's the other thing. They're an amazing team. Every single player on their team, other teams would walk through fire to get.
Jeez,
Right?
yes.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, look at the roster.
They take
Pep
their
has
entire
built.
second string.
Yeah, exactly.
Like-
They would take the practice squad. So I don't think we can be too hard on them. Every
No,
team has a bit of ups and downs, and they go into a slump for a couple games and then pull themselves out. It's not panic time by any stretch. They just need to pick it up. So all the people that are online going nuts about, the fall of Man City, this isn't it. They're still in the top 3, and they're going to pull themselves out of it.
At least we thought.
And you're going to be upset when they pull themselves out of it.
Fair enough. I love this headline. Surprise City. If I woke up tomorrow with a Palace win over City, I wouldn't be more surprised than I am right now.
That's my favorite line of the entire movie.
I woke up with my
Head sewn to the carpet. I wouldn't be any more surprised than I am right now. And his delivery is it's velvet.
It's
so
such
honest.
like almost a throwaway line that you don't really pay attention because it's just, classic.
So good. Now we move on to Woof.
Ooh, what a match.
Home. Cardiff City hosts Manchester United. This is Ole's first game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
New coach's first game after sacking of Jose Mourinho.
And granted,
Against his old club that he got sacked from.
all right,
in the
because
Premier
he
League.
used to coach Cardiff City. Now granted, you could say it's just Cardiff City,
You could.
but to watch the way players like Pogba got off the bus going into the match, you were like,
You knew that was going to be special.
It feels different. Yeah, it feels different, man. You could just tell. Pogba grinning ear to ear. And yeah, Manchester United scored 5 friggin' goals.
First time.
Good Lord.
First time in the past 6 years that they've scored 5 goals in the league. Last time they did that was a 5-5 draw in Sir Alex's last game in charge. I think that might have been against West Brom. Well, in 6 years, they never scored 5 goals under Mourinho in the league. They never scored 5 goals under Van Gaal in the league. They never scored 5 goals against Moyes in the league. And an interim manager comes in and gets them scoring 5 goals. Yes, it was against Cardiff City, but to the point you just made, the feeling around just a change and the feeling around playing with a little bit of not being scared, not being fearful, not wondering if I make a bad pass, will I be sat on the bench for 3 weeks and then be shouted at in the locker room and then torn apart in the
You use a virus.
right? Like it was a different vibe. It was also a very strong lineup here. It was a 4-3-3 with Matic, Pogba, and Herrera midfield. That's a great midfield. Herrera and Matic allow Pogba to be free and allow him to play. He had 3 assists in this game. Then up front, you have a very young and a very pacey front 3. Rashford, Lingard, Martial.
The entire
That's
young
talent.
squad.
Yeah, that's talent. And you're playing Martial, you're playing Pogba, you're playing Lingard, you're playing Herrera, you're playing a lot of these players that Jose would go back and forth on and not necessarily play or give the confidence to. And you saw what happened. That third goal from United, where it went from Pogba to Lingard to Martial and back, it was some combo, was a wonderfully worked team goal. I don't know if you would have seen that under
That was the fourth.
Mourinho. Oh, that was the 4th?
That's 4th. Luke Shaw
Gotcha.
scores the 35th.
Gotcha. What, Luke Shaw? No, there was no Luke Shaw goal. It was a Rashford, Herrera,
Oh,
Martial,
sorry.
and then
You're right. It is the
Lingard
third.
scored 2, yeah. And then he scored a late pen. But there was just a different feeling, a different vibe, and just more expansive and just...
Andy Serkis was so excited.
What?
Your new coach, Ole, how do you say his name again?
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
See, again, he looks like the actor that played Gollum.
Yeah.
He does.
I'm dead serious.
He does.
But he's always
Look
smiling.
at him coming off the bench. As I told Ron, I said, you remember in the part in The Hobbit, or not in The Hobbit, but in the Lord of the Rings movies, where Andy Serkis actually got to not be motion cap Gollum, and he was himself dressed as a Hobbit before he turned into Gollum? He looks like him.
Yeah,
Like,
he totally does.
He looks like it. Like you've got good Gollum as your coach. It makes me happy.
Good Gollum.
So the question is, well, one of the questions I have is, these players, so at this point in time, your interim manager has what, two days with him on the practice field?
Yeah, so he's not
He
changed
didn't do anything
for tactic.
other than say go play and have fun.
Confidence is a weird thing, man.
And removing negativity.
Yes, it changes a lot. If you are confident, and that's confident by him coming in and giving the players confidence. We don't know what was said in training and in back in the rooms and talking to players and all of that, but something happened where that confidence changed. And yes, and it could just be a change overall that caused that, but they were given confidence in their abilities. They were also probably given a little bit of freedom to go out, express yourself out there.
That's, I think, more. I think that was what he gave them more than confidence. I think,
but it builds confidence,
I think this win gave them more confidence than any person could give them confidence. I think he just went in and said, "Go have fun and play
how you know how to play."
Right. And so where I'm leading to that is with this roster, a lot like Man City's, where it's just stacked with talent. Why was it so hard for Jose Mourinho to just let them play?
Because he wasn't managing people there. He was trying to manage a club and trying to manage this Manchester United legacy.
But there's something
he didn't manage else.
But he doesn't do that when he first gets into the club.
Well, but you know what though? But there's something, and Kyle Martino at NBCSN, he has been more vocal about this as time went on.
He's been very vocal, yeah.
With Man United. He is so convinced, and maybe it's just, him being a former player or whatever. He hates the way Jose makes everything about him.
Right.
Regardless of how, unless it's a loss.
Right.
And then but like
it's a tactic that has served him well over the years because he's put.
But it's one that serves you for literally 3 years. You go
Short
and
period
you
of time,
win,
yes.
and then everybody's like, well, this is great. We won, but this dude's, I'm tired of playing with this jerk. Like, I can't do this anymore.
Right.
And right now, we were talking about this before the pod started. Who hires him right now? What top club hires him? Because do you go, that might be a bigger liability right now?
Well, and that's where I say right now his best bet is probably to go to a national team. You don't have time or you don't have the ability to be every day on the
Went to it. A national team with his sort of like park the bus defensive mentality, though, could do a lot in the national tournament.
Yeah,
international.
Right, exactly. Especially if it's a Portugal where you have you don't really you're not high flying. You don't score 5 goals a game, but you have your speedy players like Quaresma and a Ronaldo who can counter fast. That might be right up his alley. Yes, Ronaldo's up there in age, but he's. If you're Mourinho, that would suit your style a lot better at this stage. Years ago, when people didn't know this style and what he built with the Inters and the Chelseas, he made it work. He made it work very successfully. And
right now, that's the odds, by the way, is Inter Milan. Everybody thinks he might go back there.
If you're Inter Milan, do you want that? Because you're going to tear apart that team in terms of the players.
That's what's sad, though. That's what I mean. Like that,
right. At least a national club team. You're not around the facility all the time. You're not around the players all the time. You have a chance to really build a plan and build a formation and put players into those formations. It's more of a tactics side of things. And then when they come in, having them adapt to your tactics quickly. It's easier sometimes to go backwards in terms of if a player comes in and is so expansive to say, hey, I need you to dial that back a bit, sit in a little bit more, track back a little bit more. This is what your country needs. It's easier to go backwards than it is to say to a defender or a holding midfielder, I need you to attack. I need you to spread the ball out wide. I need you to do stuff that you're not usually used to. You're used to doing that as an expansive player. Now I'm just telling you to dial it back. I think that's more up his alley.
But the question I would have as a national team board is a lot of the players that are on these various national teams have had contact or played for him over time. Is it even worth it?
I
think it would
don't
be.
know, man. I think it
I
would
feel
like
be.
a guy like Arsene Wenger sits back now in Monaco, like having a cigar and a brandy at a bar, going, "You may have more trophies, but people still love
Portugal,
me."
right?
People still love
Portugal would be the best fit for him because there's not a lot of players that he's coached over the years that are still there. Ronaldo would be there, but he's not there for that much longer.
No.
And he's Portuguese to begin with. That helps.
I do think though that it's you're putting out a scenario that I think is his best bet because I just don't know. There are plenty of mid-level clubs that might jump at him to try and boost even momentarily. But any top clubs, I just don't think they want to deal with it.
He's just built such a reputation that it makes everyone go,
Yeah.
at the moment.
And I know right now, Man United is, yes, it's Cardiff City. And we'll get to the game today that they played against Huddersfield. You could just say it's just Huddersfield. But man,
But we did
cloud
say,
of him being gone.
There's a shift of confidence.
we
there,
also
though.
did say that as soon as they fired Mourinho, that no matter who they brought in as an interim coach, he was going to have a pretty easy schedule because he has teams like Huddersfield and Cardiff City for the next 4 games. And then Tottenham was their 5th.
Right.
So this new
And for
manager,
Tottenham, especially where they're playing right now, it's a great position for Ole because there's nothing to lose. You're not expected to win. Right. So if you draw or win, huge. And if you keep a respectable loss, you're kind of okay.
But to a point Ron made earlier with, he probably went in there and said,
We just got you a brand new microphone arm. Are you already
just went, woo!
breaking it?
But to a point that Ron made earlier, as he fixes my mic, thank you, sir. He went in there and basically said, "Go out, have fun, and play." That's a Band-Aid fix. That's why he's just an interim at this time. You get that mentality, that confidence, that morale. You build that back up this season to either hopefully get into the top 4, stay in the top 6,
but even
make a long run in the Champions League, and then you look in the offseason to have something that can build upon that and continue that, whether that's Pochettino, whether that's Zidane, whoever.
I don't know, man.
Will come in at that point. Blanc? Who knows?
Let's just say, if Ole rolls to the end of the season, he might be there.
I think no matter who you would have gotten, even let's say they didn't do an interim coach. Let's say they managed to snag Zidane and he was going to be their next coach, right? No matter who comes in, I think that's what they do. They say, go out, have fun, and they sit back and they watch and learn. I think no matter what manager was coming in, that was going to be the outcome.
You just said something really interesting there. I think it might be Jose Mourinho's problem. Jose is going to force you to play his way. He is not going to look at a team and adapt to what he has.
Right. He's going to try and mold everyone to his ideal,
whether it works or not,
as opposed to, having essentially what this manager's done. He comes in.
How about Klopp? The constant changing of formation and stuff he does. Like that just doesn't happen under Mourinho.
No, not at all.
We will play this way, the way I want to win. And if we lose, it's your fault, not mine.
I think all in all, I'm happy with the change. I'm happy with the direction it's going in terms of there is a clear understanding of this man's coming in to be an intern, to make a complete almost change on everything. Go from that negative sit back, pack it in, park the bus football to the expansive, have fun, shoot the ball, score goals. That was needed in this case. You needed a complete opposite change to then get on. And that's the bridge between now and then building something. And hopefully that's the direction that we're going. Time will tell, but I think it's a smart move that we didn't name a full-time manager now, because then you're trying to figure out the team throughout the rest of the season, opposed to saying go out and have fun.
Yeah, I agree with you. I just mean that no matter what manager was coming in, being interim or permanent in quotes, the best thing they could have done was said, go out and have fun, and not tried to coach this team for a few matches.
Let them be.
Right.
Yes.
Just go out and have fun, because right now you're so beaten down and oppressed that
It's the truth, though.
If you did anything else, if you tried to coach in any way, it was just going to fall flat. The best thing you could let them do is just let them go play like they were playing a high school game. You know what I mean?
So going back to our last pod, I just happened to go on a social media, and our friend Daryl, the sommelier, commented on a picture I posted today of
from
Blake's.
your cruise?
Yeah. Well, no. A picture, from our cruise. A picture I posted today of Blake's beautiful daughter that was just dialed into the United game today. Loved it. But he goes, "Did you watch the game? You see this? This is what I'm talking about. They're playing now, not just sitting back and waiting. That's Man United game. This is what I tried to explain to you on board. Victory."
Victory. He's like, come take another cruise. I need to tell you to your face how
We should go back next year.
How wrong you were. That is great.
And he's not wrong. That's the thing. He's right.
You owe that man a beer.
Yeah, I do.
We had such a fun time with that guy.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, that was funny. Yeah, you had your Surface, right? Like your laptop eye level to her. She walked over. That little kid will watch some soccer, man. Don't be 1 year old.
He was loving it. He was loving
To
it.
be fair, she was beating on the computer
She
screen.
was smacking the screen. I couldn't tell she was trying to hit the Man United
She was
players.
trying to give
just trying to
Pogba
get
a high
rid of
five.
him.
She was trying to give Pogba a high five.
Not
I
with a
saw
closed
It's touch
fist.
screen. She saw it. She was trying to give Pogba a high five.
She knows. I told her you can pick any team you like.
Except Man United.
Except Man City, Man United, or Chelsea. Any other team is fine.
You just name all other
Every team
19
is
teams in the
like-
league except for Arsenal and just narrow it down.
I don't know. If she found another club she liked, I have so much fun. The fact that none of us support the same club, it would still be fun, I think.
What if she became... I can't even name a bad team that we're all like,
Hey, watch it. Because what happened right now, she might grow up in the age of Liverpool.
What if she became a Blackpool fan?
That's awesome.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Like that's what's crazy to think about, right? I think the Men in Blazers, or Raj has mentioned this a couple times on Men in Blazers, that there are kids. Sorry, this is about Man United, but there are kids now who know Man United is nothing but this like waffling back and forth.
Right, they're not the powerhouse
They don't
team.
know them as
Right.
like in
Oh,
America.
yeah.
You think of like the Yankees or like whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean? You think
Yeah,
of this long powerhouse. That's what's crazy. Now I think those days are coming back to Man United. Although the days of total dominance, just like we're watching what's happening at the table right now, it might be gone for a little while. It'd be great if it is, in the sense of any team having total dominance. It looks like this top six is going to be very competitive for the next few years.
It's a arms race to the championship every year. It's an arm race to lift that Premier League title every year now.
Yeah, the crazy
Who can
league
just
that
retool? Who can redo it? Who can bring in a new style? Who can attack? Who can score goals? And who can get there first and be consistent on it?
and I think it'll be a while before you see clubs that hold on so long. Were you over there watching the Chelsea game?
Yeah, I'm watching the Chelsea match
I
right
got that
now.
on too. I think Arsenal drew 1-1.
They did. They drew 1-1 to Brighton. I mean, if temporarily it puts them in fourth place above Chelsea until this match is over.
Can I read that line?
Yeah. Hit the headline for the Man United Cardiff City. Yes, please do.
Hallelujah! Holy! Where's this been?
The other greatest line in Christmas Vacation.
I initially had that for a different game, but I was like, the holy just went right in there.
By the way, this beer has warmed up so well. You done?
It's warmed up in my tummy.
Ron and I are about done. We need to do this so we can move on to our next one, actually. Matt, again, dude. Can't wait to try the other beer that you gave. I know what style it is, but I'm going to make it a surprise for the guys.
It's really opened up as it's gotten warmer.
Man, it's
the
so
malt
good.
profile is so...
It still is a very bready yeast smell, but the
Yes.
malt is
The
so
malt, it's like
good.
4 different... It probably isn't because it's a barley wine, but it tastes like 4 different kinds of malt.
I would love to have had the yeast from this to make like bread with.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Man, this is freaking good.
get it
Well,
out of there.
We only have a couple other matches to talk about. I know we have one last match for week 18. Do you guys want to go to the next beer?
Why don't we cover that match and then go to the...
Okay,
last
well,
beer?
technically, okay, we'll do that, and then we'll finish off with Ron's, which is appropriate because it kind of is a desserty situation
Yes.
anyway.
And
okay, perfect.
Ron has some soccer news he's quite excited to share with
perfect.
us.
That's
Yes.
right. That's right.
Yes.
That's right. Man, the surprises for Boxing Day just keep rolling on. All right, so this last match of that we're going to discuss for Week 18 before we talk about some of the Boxing Day matches.
You all right?
We had an open net. William hits
yeah,
the
you
post.
did. Yeah, you did. I saw that.
Son of a...
There he is. Ooh, that defender nailed the post with his armpit.
Oh, man.
Nice.
Son of a... Sorry on the bleeps.
It's all right.
Okay, so we're back to the Premier League.
We're not up to too
It was
many,
not me for a change.
We're not up to too many bleeps yet.
There's a lot of pod left.
I just can't.
A stunning
This
goal.
beer, I can't get past.
Oh, sorry.
No.
A stunning goal fest of a match. Everton 2, Tottenham 6.
And this, not that Tottenham has been playing bad, but this really kicks off a run of form that they're currently on the next match they have today for Boxing Day. Holy crap. Man City, who? It's like Tottenham's the one now racing after
11
Liverpool.
goals in 2 matches. 11 goals in two matches.
And Everton actually scored first in this game.
Actually, Everton scoring 2 goals against this Tottenham team is wonderful. And I think any other week, it's 2-2 or 2-3 they lose. Holy crap, though. I mean,
Yeah.
Tottenham looks... Liverpool... If Liverpool is like the dangerous samurai, one slice cut you down. Right now, Tottenham is like the juggernaut, just rushing at you. It's not going to be pretty, maybe, but it's going to be very damaging, and you're going to be in a mess afterwards. That's how they're playing right now.
Yeah.
It is.
And 3/4 of their team can score goals.
How do you like that? Drop a samurai and an X-Men character.
Yes, you did.
There we go.
Very well done. Not that I know what any of that means, but very well done. What was very cool, and Ron, what you were just saying, is everybody on the team can score. This is the first time in a league game, or maybe the first time ever in a game, that the Fab Four of Tottenham, Eriksen, Son, Kane, Ali, have all scored in the same game.
Yes, that was amazing.
Awesome goals in this. Mistakes by Everton, mistakes by Pickford, who's usually very reliable back there, mistakes by their defense, but when you got those 4 coming at you and at full pace and
Harry
with tons
Kane
of confidence.
On fire right now, too.
Just playing awesome, and awesome for my fantasy team, too.
I mean, just woof. Ron, I feel like officially the rest of the season is about you and me, Chelsea and Arsenal fighting for 4th, because there's no way we're touching the top 3.
I think we're fighting for 3rd or 4th. Man City could still do a little tumble.
Okay. You're on the okay. All right.
I'm being a little more optimistic.
I hope it's a fight between Arsenal and Chelsea for 4th. I don't want to deal with Man City in that respect. But Tottenham's completely changed the conversation, and they will do so again in today's matches as well.
Which is also a Fab Four score.
What? Okay, again, I don't mean to. I don't want to go down this rabbit hole of a conversation necessarily, but Ferris, this is what I mean. If they roll like this,
no, Fab 3. Sorry,
I don't know that Man United gets a Pochettino as a coach.
Well, and that's the interesting part of this is all the news was about Poch going to United the entire week. And then his team show comes out.
Their PR guy had to jump in.
Yes, he did. He absolutely did.
For one of the journalists asking about it, and they're like, "You can't do that."
And they put 6 past a pretty good Everton, who are up there in the top 10. And then we'll get to it here in a bit, but they put another 5 past Newcastle today. 11 goals in 2 games. Do you not think they don't want him to leave? That they're not playing for him and wanting to play this fun style of ball and scoring goals at will?
But why now? If that's the case,
by the way, they've done it before, right? They've done this before.
Nope. This season they have not been.
This season they have not.
Sort of
but
form.
In years past, they have had this goal scoring, high flying style. So right now, I'm saying it's coming back because they are probably hearing this news and not wanting him to leave and wanting to play for him and saying, hey, no, you need to stay here because we can play the style that you want and we will play for you and we will try to win everything that we can.
This feels,
who knows
think about it. So last year we had a Liverpool at this time of year where it was clear Man City was going to win the Premier League, but you were like, woof, Liverpool is going to be amazing next year. Right. And we said that several shows like that, yes, Man City's great. And that is obviously the case. Tottenham keeps this rolling. No, they're not winning the Premier League this year. I don't think they'll be able to make that catch up. I still think it will probably end. If it ends, it would be like it is today. It would be Liverpool, Man City, then Tottenham. That'd be my guess. But they hold on to this club. They hold on to this manager. Woo! Next year, I do think it'll be Man City who. I think it'll be a run between Liverpool and Tottenham.
They're certainly killing it.
Also, I'll throw this out now. It's a Boxing Day match because we're not really going to talk about it a ton. But you are right. Everton, though, playing well. I mean, that should be noted. Yes, they lose this game 6-2, but they won today against Burnley 5-1.
Right.
Yeah, they came back with a vengeance.
Yes. So, again, that's not a bad...
No.
That's not beating a Cardiff or what, that's...
Right.
Yeah. That's a powerful statement that was made. Sorry.
So we...
the headline.
This is such a great headline.
All right, yeah, who's got this one?
I mean, I'll do it.
Hit it. Hey, where are you going to put that tree, Clark?
Bend over and Spurs will show you.
You got a lot of nerve.
I wasn't talking to you. Oh
my God,
it's so great.
I love that movie so much.
Why is the carpet all wet?
I don't know, Todd. I don't know, Mark.
Yeah, that's actually Margot at that point.
I don't know, Margot. Why is the floor wet, Todd?
I don't know, Margot. So great.
Classic.
I love that movie.
It doesn't. But that Muppets Christmas Carol.
Yep.
Have to be played and watched. We always love Actually we throw in as well. And I still just get over the Radio Watford.
Merry Christmas, pal.
But right, Ferris, we got to get you on Gremlins.
Yeah, I've never
another
seen
good.
Oh, that's right.
Christmas. Christmas.
Put it in the microwave.
Tale. Oh, it's so good, man. Yeah, you need to see a little demon get thrown into a microwave and microwave. Like, it's
Merry Christmas to me.
Exactly. Exactly. And also we had to watch the Muppets, the last Muppets TV Christmas special when Jim Henson was still alive. So all the Sesame Street guys show up and Fraggle Rock shows up. We totally watched that yesterday as well.
That was awesome.
So good. So good. So we're going to talk a little bit about the Boxing Day matches now. So we'll move on to our other beer. This makes us 2 for 2 so far on listener beers, gentlemen.
2 for Wednesday.
Yep. This is another. This is a listener beer.
Oh, is it?
This absolutely is.
Oh, cool.
So a gentleman that we frequently chat about on the show because he's always says some fun stuff, as well as he sent me pictures of his Christmas gift this year, and somehow his wife snagged him a personalized to him Merry Christmas signed by Jurgen Klopp photo.
So
friggin' amazing, as well as a Bobby Chompers mug.
Yeah, that was great. I don't know where she got that, but that's brilliant.
And then the vinyl
for the original recording of the You'll Never Walk Alone. So freaking awesome. So he took a trip to New Orleans and brought us what he says is his favorite Christmas beer that you don't usually ever see out here. It doesn't usually make its way out. I guess they sell most of them there. He had it on tap. This is the Abita, so a brewery that in many instances doesn't need much of an introduction if you're on the eastern side of the Mississippi. Did you break the bottle opener? You did it sideways. Ron, what did you do?
I didn't do shit.
You cannot break.
Look, I did it right this time.
Well, I think you already damaged it.
Hey, you just be quiet.
Unless you broke the contraption.
Look, is that straight?
Well, hold on, listen.
Easy now.
That means two things.
So this beer from Abita is their holiday beer.
Okay.
And
I think it was off all along. It just wasn't falling off.
Your face is off.
Hey, yeah. Well, that's true.
This is called their office party.
I'm excited to try this. It looks awesome.
Yeah, it's called Spice Up Your Holiday Mix, or it's called Office Party. It's a holiday stout. Spice up your holiday mix and mingle with this best dressed brew. Office Party is a holiday stout brewed with oats, pale caramel, and chocolate malts, and is hopped with Willamette hops. Generous amounts of cocoa nibs, cinnamon, vanilla, and nutmeg are added to infuse the spirit of the holidays into this limited release.
Nice.
That sounds
what are you
good.
doing over there?
I don't think this is.
Let me see this thing.
You try it.
Give me the damn thing.
Let's see this thing.
I did it successfully the first few times.
Look how easy that was. It popped
shut
right
up,
off.
was amazing. Oh, it was like my mom trying to figure out how to do something on the computer.
I got it wrong too.
Yeah, see?
Oh, there it was. All right, no, I didn't get it wrong.
Shut up.
There it is.
I don't know what to, usually I mark down the bleeps. I'm just going to say, listen at this moment, and there are a lot of bleeps. I can't remember what everybody said.
I'm excited to try this. Are we doing it in the
so
bottle?
Abita,
Or
again, if you're, you go to any beer stores or wherever, you'll see Abita a lot of Purple Haze. Is one of the more popular beers that Abita has.
Look how dark that sucker is.
He actually had the opportunity to go out to their brewery, which he said is super awesome.
Oh, fun.
Brought me back some of the tokens that like you'd see like get thrown out at Mardi Gras. And if you catch those,
wow. Fun.
you can take them to the Abita and get a flight.
Sweet.
It's super cool. So this beer, marked low on the bitters side, darker on the color, the Lovibond scale. The website's great. 6.8% ABV. The yeast, American ale, malt, pale, caramel, chocolate, and oats, hops, Willamette.
Perfect.
So
All the makings of a great stout.
yeah, let's see what this bad boy tastes like.
Looking forward to this.
So it
Are
pours.
you guys pouring out?
It pours really dark,
I may just have it in the bottom.
but it has a pretty white head on it,
Ooh.
as opposed to like that chocolatey note that you
Good
would
head
get.
retention.
Yeah, look at that, man.
Smells amazing. Really
Ooh.
chocolate off the top.
Because it said nutmeg, chocolate nibs, cinnamon.
Yeah.
Oh, this smells awesome.
He says it's one of his favorite Christmas beers. So that to me,
Cool.
that's
I'm
a
going to do it
hard thing to
in
live
a
up to.
bottle here with a beautiful game koozie. Cilantro.
Cheers, gents. Merry Christmas, Jason. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Ooh,
that's good.
that's fun.
That's
What?
tasty.
Whoa, that is
way
not
fun.
what I expected it to taste like.
That is almost everything I expected it to taste like. Like with that smell?
This is like drinking a Christmas pie.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, and I mean that, not like a pumpkin pie. I mean like the way a pumpkin pie tastes like fall, the way it's got the nutmeg and the clove and all that kind of in this very fall fruit. This sounds like I don't know if this makes sense as a comparison, but that's what this tastes like. You take all the things you associate with Christmas, the smells of the cinnamon, the chocolate, and you put it all together. It's remarkably creamy
so
stout.
good. Yes. So good.
Holy crap, that's good. Is there anything else on this bottle? Man, that's good. Generous amounts of, there it is. The cocoa nibs, cinnamon, you know what it is? And that vanilla and nutmeg.
Yeah, that vanilla really makes a
The
difference.
spirit of the holidays. Man, that is good. Well,
Excellent choice.
yeah, that's a friggin' fantastic beer.
Thank you, Mr. Horn.
2 for 2, fantastic Christmas beers, listener beers as well.
Soon we're going to be mostly listener beers, unless
If that ever happens, I love my wife just poked her head in because she knows I'm talking about the beer that Jason brought in and she wants to try.
It's so good.
Brewed with cocoa nibs, cinnamon, vanilla, and nutmeg. It's flippin' delicious.
Delightful.
You're going to want to try the next one too, I got a feeling. Are you stealing my beer?
She's totally
Hang
stole
on.
it. She like closed the door.
Your Ferris didn't use that glass. You put something in.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Although I will say part of the best part of this was watching Ron trying to operate that high-tech bottle opener and failing.
And shove it.
I kind of wish
All you do is you push down, you pull up. It's not hard. The smartest man in the room.
Hey, you had difficulty with it your first time.
You're welcome. This means 3 things. Dang, this beer's good. All right. Fantastic. All right, moving on. Man, we could literally, you know what, next Boxing Day, no soccer, just 10 beers.
Oh,
We're just going to go over the history of 10 different, I'm lying.
We're going to need a bed and a car home.
What did I, that's, so for part of our, before we go on to the Boxing Day matches, for part of our entertainment on Christmas Eve, Ron came over and we started talking about funny reviews for things.
Oh my God.
I started reading some of the newest reviews for the Haribo sugarless gummy bears.
Oh, gosh.
And if you've never done, do yourself a favor. I don't care if half of them are fake. Some of them are so well written, you pee your pants laughing at people who eat a bunch of these Haribo sugarless bears because your body isn't designed to eat that much of the chemical they use to flavor it when you're sugarless. And anyway, gastrointestinal problems happen. And we were dying.
Explosive.
Yeah, explosive.
Gastrointestinal.
My favorite was as I pressure washed the inside of the toilet bowl with my anus. Yes. So I'm dying. We're reading these for this because this is what you do on Christmas Eve. And we're dying. And then I just stopped like, Ron, this is the next bet for Ferris.
Oh, no. I'm not pressure washing the bottom of anything.
I will find something that he has to bet on that still runs a pretty good chance.
Oh,
I'm not seeing.
I don't want to be a part of that.
I'm not letting my anus see the backside of that bet.
Oh my gosh, this friggin' office party beer from Abita,
wow,
is fantastic.
Good. Really good.
By
that
the way,
vanilla really makes it. It kind of has. That vanilla makes it so much more a holiday beer than giving it a like a peppermint flavor.
to me, that's what kind of that sort of like creamy vibe that's got going on, like in a good way. A pie's wrong, maybe like a Christmas pudding or something. I don't know, like. It's such a good flavor. Now, Abita is one of those companies I think I take for granted because I've seen them for, years. But here's something I don't think I realized. So their list of beers on their page, guys, there's a lot of beers they make we never get.
Oh, I bet.
right.
I mean, there's the Purple Haze that we know. The Big Easy IPA shows up around year round. Sometimes the Amber. The Boot, a Louisiana exclusive, only sold in Louisiana. Their Christmas ale, so they've got another Christmas beer as well. Turbo Dog we're familiar with.
Yep.
I think Andy Gator you sometimes see. But dude, Straw Gator, Shotgun Double IPA, their Buy Your Bootlegger Hard Root Beer. They have tons of stuff. A vanilla cream soda beer, which actually that sounds awesome.
Nice.
They have a ton of beers that I feel like we need to get on. In fact, they've got a couple of canned beers I've yet to see called 3090. The other one called Hop On. So we need to jump on that. Nice. King Cake Soda beer. What?
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah. So I don't know. There's some stuff we got to check out there. Okay. So on to today's Boxing Day matches, which were, I don't think anything was there was one thing that was super surprising. I think
to be our first game, actually.
I think a lot of the other ones kind of went maybe kind of how we thought they would go, including that last Arsenal match, the 1-1 draw to Brighton. That's pretty typical. Typical for an Arsenal that has zero defense right now. But our first match we're going to talk about is the one that is this it? Is this the point everybody looks back to from the whole season and says this is the moment? As Leicester City at home hosts Man City. And after that win from Leicester over Chelsea, they freaking beat Man City 2-1.
It was a great game.
And a early goal by Silva for City at the 14th minute, answered quickly by Albrighton in the 19th for Leicester. And then it's Pereira. Did I say that right?
Pereira.
Pulisic. Pereira.
It's the one name I can't say. I can say every other name in the book, but I cannot say that.
That's brilliant.
Every time that makes me laugh. Every time. Pereira.
60% of the time.
It just doesn't look like Pereira when I read it. It's like Perrier water. Okay, so, but no, Pereira in the 81st. And they hold on. And I still kind of thought, it's Man City, right? They're going to score the draw.
Yeah, you figure
they are. But instead, in the 89th minute, they get a red card.
Delph gets sent
And
off.
drop down to 10 men. So what's going on? Liverpool champions, as long as they don't F anything up, because right now, 7 points ahead. And because of Liverpool's match today, which we'll get into, they have now tied Man City's ridiculous goal differential. That was huge for the entire season.
Yeah.
And a reason that if Liverpool ever got above Man City, which they had, obviously, they needed to, it was a scary ahead because if they ever drew in points, you just knew Man City, well, they're going to have that goal differential. Not anymore. That's gone, man.
Yeah.
They both have a 36 goal differential now here at this point in the season.
Manchester City's just having a big drought of confidence.
Okay. So
Bring in Jose.
But so at what point, how many more games before it's such a drought that it is a fight that they never get back into? They stay in their spot. They stay in their second place lane mate. Actually, they're not in second. They're in third now. That's insane.
Yeah.
Tottenham sit above them with the season that we've had up until 3 weeks ago.
But just remember, the entire season for every team is a series of droughts and confidence.
Yes.
Drought and
except
confidence.
Liverpool, who's undefeated right now.
At some point, they will lose.
No. What if they do it? What if they pull an Arsenal? What if they have an undefeated season?
With their club?
It's very unlikely.
They could, but it's very, yes. At some
defense,
point, somebody's going to nick something.
I disagree with you. With their defense and their ability to score, to tie up, I think they are the best team to try and snag that. Again, that's hard to do. Anybody being an undefeated for a season. That's why they still talk about The Incredibles. That's a movie. But like Arsenal's undefeated season is still a big deal. They're a club I think could do it. But Man City, this is nuts, man. That's a slide at the worst time, because you figure the festive fixtures. You're like, this might be an opportunity where they like drop a point or two, and maybe Liverpool can catch up. It wasn't supposed to be this.
They'll still be in it. Was it you, Blake, that said something earlier when watching the games? Do you think this is really them maybe trying to focus on the Champions League?
That's what I said. If this is it, and Liverpool continue to stay at the top, and Man City kind of fight in that second and third spot, but you walk away winners because you win the Champions League. But they have struggled a little bit in the Champions League. I mean, they've won obviously, but it has not been easy. Oh, but yes, if you win the Champions League, I mean, my gosh, that's huge.
Yeah, they still have tons of talent. Long season to go. They'll still be in it the entire year. They've caught in a couple of teams here that really have a lot to fight for. Palace needed to win something fierce. Yes, it wasn't at home, but it was at...
It is Crystal Palace.
Yes, I understand that. But they had a healthy team. Zaha was back. They needed that win. Leicester, are they playing for Claude Puel? Are they trying to really get... Possibly. They're also playing at home. Yes, Palace was not at home. That's kind of one of those weird anomaly games that's...
This is at the Etihad.
3-2. But there's just a little bit of a skid here in the Pep reign of things. I think City will be fine. I think it's just a couple of games here where...
What do you mean by fine? Like they'll come back and win? The Premier League?
I would say I still think that they win the entire league.
Even a top three finish is still a win.
I don't think they win the league.
Especially if they win Champions League.
I do think they can make a really good run in Champions League. 2 games out of the course of an entire year aren't any, if we're talking that out of 5 games, they've lost 3 times, 1 draw and 1 win, then maybe we start to have this convo. 2 losses back-to-back during a very hectic time.
And a recent draw, too.
Who was the draw?
Didn't they have a draw? Because they're down by 7.
Losses.
Yeah, 1 draw, 2 losses. Yeah.
So we're almost there.
Yeah,
not quite there.
So say we're not
quite there.
Far from it.
But I bet you see City come out the next game and
we just
they
sat
win
there and said
5-0, 5-1.
We just sat and said, wow, Tottenham, though. I mean, man, to do that to Everton, who's not a bad team. This is Crystal effing Palace. Like...
Yeah, but every team loses a game they shouldn't lose. Every year it happens. I know. It's not panic time.
Not yet. No. Right. That's the point I was trying to make. It's not. It's still a long year. It's shocking on both results. Yes, because City through the first part of the year just looked unstoppable, and they'll win against anybody and just pile through with the talent of offense that they have, but. So it's not going to last forever.
Klopp, Liverpool, previous years, they have ups, they have downs. Klopp, always moving forward, always a great press conferences afterwards, whether they lose or win, saying, this is what we got to do. This is what, what I mean? Yeah. Pep does not look like he's handling losses as well as Klopp did last year. This is where I am saying we could look back and go, this here is the moment, because how Pep reacts to this. Pep is a guy who's walked into very good clubs.
Yes.
Now, I'm not knocking him.
Back's against the wall,
is a great manager. I
love that you use the word home slice.
Yeah, you're welcome. Especially for Pep. What's up, Pep? My home slice. Great manager. I'm not knocking that, but he's always walked into great clubs. Obviously, Man City is a great club still.
Bayern was yes.
Yes, but I don't know, man. I don't know.
He doesn't
it all
do
depends on how he reacts to this.
right. He doesn't do well with his back against the wall.
No.
He does well out in front with nicely dressed shoes and hat and everything.
His
but
nice hoodies.
lovely hoodies, nice jackets too. But yes, I agree. How he reacts here and how he gets his team motivated going forward. Will they need a whole lot of motivation? No, because their pride's hurt with these two losses. So you probably see the Agueros and De Bruynes come out and fight to be back on top there. But it's going to be tough for them because
It's over. It's done.
Okay.
I'm making the call. It's done. They can't do it. They never go back up top again.
Thank you, 18-year-old girl from these states who just gets over dramatic about everything.
I'm not over dramatic. Just honest.
Sure, that's it.
It's burn it all down.
Burn it. There it is.
Yeah. That's still my favorite video from us recorded. Burn it all down. Arsenal's getting relegated. It's over.
The funny thing is we've all been there.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know, man. I'm hearing you, and logically, you make perfect sense.
Thanks.
Those beautiful German teeth smiling. I just think it's over. I think he's got it.
No, not yet.
Or what? 19. We still have what? Almost 20 games left.
Yeah, there's a lot of season
I
left.
do really like your headline for this. You serious, City? It's a good one. It's a really good.
I just read the next one.
Oh, man. The next one's good too. But I don't want to discount Leicester. That's a big win against Chelsea. Clearly, it turned something around for them. Much like we were talking about Southampton. Their match is tomorrow against West Ham. I'm very curious to see how that goes. Again, not a new manager. Well, no, Leicester does have
No.
Did they switch out their manager? No, Leicester didn't switch out their manager. Southampton did. Yeah. It confused me because it's of who it is. But so Southampton, seeing things click along with them. I'm very curious tomorrow. Leicester, that's 2 big wins. After, as you said, a really rough season, just getting the ball going really for their own club, and then just personally with everything that went on with their owner. So I don't want to discount Leicester. They had a great game today.
Yeah, and they're clearly playing for Puel, who again was on the chopping block 2 games ago, and you weren't sure if he was going to keep his job.
I think he's good. How do you fire a guy after you beat Man City and you're Leicester right now? I think he's okay for a little bit.
Right.
But that's all fish credit. It's going to go bad soon.
For who?
For Leicester boss.
At some point, yes, because they're not the club that's going to keep a Pep there or a Klopp there for a long period of time. But if you're getting Albrighton, Pereira, Vardy, you're getting those players involved who are the goal scorers in the past 3 games who have talent. You're getting them organized. You're allowing the players that have skill and talent on that team to show that. And if he can continue doing that, the goal is not to get into the top 4 or top 6. The goal is to stay up. So for them, if they can continue this, get some big wins where these are 2 wins back to back that they're not really expected to get. Man City and Chelsea are not wins that Leicester at this current time, not 2 years ago.
They still need a lot more.
They do, but if they get wins now with the teams that are there with them and not the top 6 teams, that's even more of a bonus. So very good from them. And
where are they? Let's see. They're sitting in 7th right now,
right,
with 28 points. Man United above them at 6 with 32 points.
That's good.
That is pretty good actually. I think Ron's about to break his seal. And I don't mean...
I've been thinking about it.
I don't mean the little... I was trying to make a seal joke with a real... It didn't work. It didn't. Never mind.
Kiss from
from Batman Forever.
You're welcome.
Right? Wasn't that Batman Forever?
Yes. With
with Nicole
Val
Kidman
Kilmer and
yeah. Or was that
Chris O'Donnell?
Batman and Rob. I can't remember. They were both terrible.
Batman and Robin, yep.
Yeah, they were both terrible.
Nicole Kidman.
I don't know, man. There's just something about the slip Man City's having and the way Liverpool is grossly consistent, much like last year's Man City. You know what I mean?
Right.
That I just like, man, I don't know. Like, a 3-point different, a 4-point different, you get a 7-point difference between Liverpool and Man City. That starts to look bigger than I think the 7 points. That's 2 matches. That's 3 matches, right? Three. You got to get 3 right. That's 2 wins and a draw to tie up. And the other club losing all. That's huge. I mean, like that. So.
Well, you talk about it. The consistency that Liverpool has had thus far and how they continue to produce wins. Today they did that. Again,
well, sure. That moves because we're talking this. We should move on to the next
Wolves
game. Yeah.
And Newcastle, yes, 2 teams that you should, in theory, beat. But between those 2 games, they've had 6 goals and 0 goals against,
and that made them draw the goal differential, which is huge.
Right.
Which I should say that moves us to the Liverpool match. Liverpool at home against Newcastle, they win 4-0. This is a huge win to Liverpool. And like you said, not who they beat, how they beat them. Now Ferris has got to break the seal. Okay. Well, Ron, why don't you and I chat for a second then?
That's fine. You're next, by the way.
I don't have the bladder of a tiny sparrow.
Mine's an extra large sparrow.
Extra large sparrow. Mine's a titmouse. Just because I wanted to say titmouse because there's nothing dirty about it because it's the name of a bird. Get your mind out of the gutter. No, I was just saying to Ferris, Liverpool is so grossly consistent, much like Man City was last year. That is why once I see 7 points, where you're now talking about you need to win 2 and draw 1, and the other club to lose 3 to catch up to, I don't have a lot of faith in that. Because there's just something so... Last year with Man City, there was just this comfortable excellence. And Liverpool totally has that. And also, I think even better than Man City, that ridiculous stat of their defense.
Yeah.
That's to me where it's hard. I see them drawing a match real quick before I see them losing one.
Yeah, they're probably gonna draw a bunch before they lose any. And they're still fighting in other competitions.
And that's what's nuts. So we have both, Man City and so last year Liverpool stayed obviously all the way to the finals of the Champions League. Man City got knocked out. Not that I think that would have changed things for the way the Premier League turned out. But this year they're both still in.
Seemingly was a strategic move to win the Premier League and not necessarily worry about other competitions.
Sure. And definitely this go round, it feels like Man City and Liverpool, they're all, and Tottenham for that matter, are all gearing for the Champions League too.
Yeah. But it is, we still have 19, 20 matches to go.
And our Champions League kicks back off in February.
A draw here, a loss here.
Sure.
Being relatively isolated.
And Man City needs to get back to those 3-0 goal lines they kept having.
And it's only a matter of time before Man City is back in that form.
Unless it gets to them.
I don't think it's going to.
Unless it cracks,
The talent on that team and the coaching on the Man City squad is just too good for it to just be a complete landslide.
What do you think, Ferris? Liverpool definitely wins the league, or I'll bet a Moo Thunder over this.
I just peed. I'm not falling into that trap.
What does peeing have to do with that?
You remind him of the Moo Thunder.
Because he was trying to catch me off guard and trying to throw out one of those weird bets. And no. I think it's too early to tell who's going to win the league.
Moo Thunder over eggnog ice cream.
Oh, God.
That just sounds
I'm already trying with ice cream. I'm not trying it again with ice cream.
Sounded gross.
I just think
that vision. Hold on. That vision. The thing that brought to mind was what was that movie with the guy that's like, you want my tots?
Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah.
When he's drinking the milk.
When he's drinking the milk and he's like, the cow's gotten into an onion patch. And it's focused right on his mouth. And he's kind of like doing this with the milk.
Yep.
That sound.
It's so gross. It's so gross. That's exactly where you brought me.
Well, I think regardless, we can all agree what a better Premier League this year because
100%.
This race might even be 3 clubs.
Right. And that's the right. It's too early to tell who's going to win the league, but that's fun because in years past, like last year, we knew Man City was going to win the league. Up to this point, we kind of thought Man City was going to win the league. Well, now we don't know. And what's so intriguing about Liverpool and how they're going right now is they haven't won a Premier League yet. They boshed up a few years back, right? Because weren't they the only club at Christmas time to be on top of the league and not finish on top?
Yeah. Liverpool
so can they do it this year?
When they did it,
a lot of intriguing points.
I will say,
here.
though, when they did it, the big difference would have been they showed a stat, and in the last few years, the clubs that had been at the top all had multiple points ahead, like say 5 to 10 points ahead of the second place team, except for the year Liverpool was top at Christmas but didn't go. And it's because they were 0 points.
Hazard just puts one in. Sorry about that. That was amazing. Yes.
Right before half, too.
Right before the half. Obviously, Chelsea's up 1-0 over Watford.
God, I feel so much better.
But with that stat, they were only ahead of the goal differential. So still very close. Closer than it is right now.
Yeah, but it's still a lot of talking points around them, around City, around Tottenham. Will Poch go? Can Man City be that dominant force that they have been? Can Liverpool actually win a Premier League? Between those three teams, you also add in there a Chelsea team who's been on a little bit of a dip as of late, and a new manager under Sarri. You add in there an Arsenal team, new manager, Aubameyang.
I don't know what that means for next year, because right,
and then you have United, new manager. So there's a lot of talking points between those top six. This race for the second half of the year is going to be very fun. And this festive fixture time is not over yet.
Well, and it's really going to set up things for the following year. You just said it. Man United will have a new coach. Chelsea will have a coach.
Tottenham could have a new coach.
Anybody thought was going to be a lasting thing, but he's had a great run despite the fact there's a little slip here. But but he's turned out to be really good. Arsenal's new coach has been yes, they're still sitting in a 5th place spot, which is similar to previous, but
22 matches unbeaten.
Very different vibe.
Oh,
it's
100%.
a very different. Like this go round is if they didn't have those 7 injuries right now,
who knows?
Right, they don't lose this game or they don't draw this game today. You know what I mean? Next year is it going to be a top 7, a top 6? It's kind of crazy. Like looking ahead to what we've got right now, and Tottenham. Whew! Watch out, man. That could be. I could totally see them doing what Liverpool coming out of last year into this year did.
Well, before we get to them, did you guys just say the headline for the Liverpool-Newcastle game?
No, go ahead, Ron, because you liked it.
Which one?
The headline for Liverpool-Newcastle from Christmas Vacation.
Oh, yeah. This is pretty good. Save the top for me, City.
Now I'm going to pause right here.
Roberto Pereira from Watford just netted one right before half as well. 1-1 Watford-Chelsea.
Son of a...
That just made my day.
Off a corner.
Yeah. Lovely strike.
Oh, what a strike.
Lovely strike.
The save the top for me, City, comes from the Christmas Vacation line of...
Save the neck for me,
hey,
Clark.
get ready to cut up the turkey. Save the neck for me, Clark. Okay, Eddie. So this Thanksgiving, I was cooking the turkey, and you pull the neck and all the giblets out. And I debated, do I leave the giblets in on the side of the turkey to cook and be part of the gravy, which is a normal thing. But I got the neck, and I was like, I have the neck. Oh, what do I do with this? And I made the joke, said, I'll throw the neck in a cook. Someone wants it. And I left it on the side to cook as part of the gravy for the sauce, So it cooks next to the turkey. And then when I'm out, my wife's stepfather's like, oh, yeah, I'll do the neck. I thought he was kidding. And he wasn't. He totally pulled cousin Eddie, and he took the neck. Like the gross, strange, weird U-shaped sausage it is.
Gross.
And he ate it. And I was like,
You were serious?
Oh, he was serious, Clark. He ate that freaking neck.
Ugh.
I was like,
good for him.
I thought he was kidding, and I gave it to him. And I was like, man, good old boy from Virginia. He just got that. He got it. He took the neck.
That makes me queasy every time.
Every time you pull it out.
In China, you pick. So you get to order duck, right? And
sure.
Peking duck is famous. So they bring the duck.
I like that my wife just poked her head in, looking at me like, "Did you tell us to for Thanksgiving?"
No, you're fine. So they bring the duck to you, and you get to pick which duck you're going to eat. And so then they kill it.
I just pictured the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy with the pig that can talk.
Yeah.
Would you like some of my flank? The rump roast is very firm.
So then they go and they cook the duck according to the Peking cuisine style, and then they bring you out the neck and head of the duck.
As you do.
To prove that the duck you picked is the duck you got. And it is so weird.
You don't want to be.
To see the duck eyeballs, beak, neck, everything on a plate. And the Chinese go for it. They just annihilate that thing. And at the end, the only thing that's left is like neck bones, skull.
Pot of neck bone.
Damn it, we're not going down that train again.
It's so weird.
I'm going to pop out neck throat.
A what?
That is weird. Like, you don't want to be bamboozled by the duck you bought and get the wrong duck.
But were you like, all right, I'm not gonna be rude.
No, like,
did you kill it? Did you eat the
did you
whole
throw
thing?
it down the old gullet?
I mean, yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
Especially at,
taste?
governmental state dinners.
Right, yeah. Look at this guy.
Oh, governmental steak dinners. Oh, okay.
Easy
Okay,
now.
Mr. Bourne. We'll just...
Ron does these shows. He's got a different set of podcasts or a different set of passports when he does the podcast.
eating at steak dinners with dignitaries or whatever.
It's weird. Especially when they look at you and they're like, so is the Westerner going to eat this? And then they spin the food.
Taste.
So they have these giant tables, right? And they have these big lazy Susans filled with food. And they just spin food past you and you take whatever you want. But at these massive state dinners, the upper officials, they want to know if the Westerner is going to eat their weird food. So they spin the weirdest shit they can find and they put it right in front of you. And then they look at you expectantly like you're going to eat that. And so they just want to see your reaction when you eat it.
So when I lived in Japan, I was there for like an 8 stint.
You gullet it down and then do the 2 fingers towards the eyes and right back towards them.
So my schedule at work allowed me to, I took a kendo class, martial arts with like Japanese swords, right? And I made friends with all the folks that were in the class, and we went out to eat like one time, and they got, it's a traditional Japanese restaurant is very tapas style, what we would call tapas style. Everybody gets a little something, right? Everybody tries a little bit of everything. And they would just get all the crazy stuff. And my brain was like, see this, I was thinking, oh, cool. Because you know what? I'll ask them how to eat this, because I would see this stuff on the menu when I was alone. And it wasn't so much out of like that grosses me out. It was, if I get this, I don't know how I'm supposed to eat it.
Right.
But I'm here with a bunch of friends, many of which who are bilingual in English and Japanese. So I could be like, oh, cool. Well, then I found out later they're dying laughing because they're all like, oh, that's some weird old Japanese stuff we don't even get, but we just got because we wanted to see if you'd eat it or not. Like, they're like, let's see if you'll do this. Let's see if we'll get this. Well, yeah.
Yeah, that happens in China too. It's pretty entertaining.
Pot of neck throat. Oh, save the top for me, City. Oh, man, I feel like I got to watch Vacation again, Christmas Vacation. All right,
good.
Moving on to, again, I'm going to throw out Jason Horn. Damn, this beer's good.
It's incredible.
Whoa, this is delicious.
I'm about done with it, man. It's good.
All right, we got to get
Put
to
that
Ron.
office party.
Perhaps if you wouldn't feed him from the table.
No. Just
Nose
no to
into
do
the
trash.
He's got it up. All right, next we have got the Bruisers. This is what we should call them. Their jerseys are black or do have blue all over it. Tottenham at home against Bournemouth, and they win 5-0. And I know that Bournemouth is on a slump, but holy crap. Also, they're on a slump because they are playing. They have had a rough run of teams.
Yeah.
But 5-0. Eriksson, Sung Heung-min, he gets a brace. Mora gets one. Harry Kane gets one. This is
Harry Kane's on
Sung
fire.
Min gets 2, actually. Yeah.
I said a brace.
Oh, you did. You absolutely did.
Yeah. I mean, Tottenham, as Mr. Horn actually, who gave us these beers, his text to me was, I think I'm more scared of Tottenham than I am Man City right now, because they just look, they're on fire. If this is something they can maintain, whew, good grief.
Which is kind of, I don't want to say it's come out of nowhere, but it's a little bit of an odd thing, because they weren't really the talked about team in the first half of the year.
What did we keep
with
saying?
No
we
new
kept
stadium,
saying
with
there was an
no
inconsistency
players
too.
incoming. Yeah, it's there was an inconsistency there, but they weren't dropping mass amounts of points. Yes, they may have drawn a few here and there, but they weren't losing enough to drop them down. They always stayed there in that 4th, 5th third range. And they've cemented themselves up there at the current time.
And we're guilty
in the top
of this.
three.
We are completely guilty of, oh, yeah, and Tottenham won, but I don't know. There just was something that was, I don't know.
It wasn't as convincing.
We just weren't as impressed for whatever reason, but color me impressed now. I mean, Tottenham looks fantastic.
And you wanted to know what I think helped is Son coming back. He was out there for a while, and him being an addition to Eriksen, Ali, and Kane is such a huge help because he is such a dynamic player. He is so pacey. He is so technical. He sees the game very well. And Son, yes, he's had a couple of goals here in the past few games, but what he does off the ball, he draws defenders towards him. He then gets in positions to where he can create and play a pass to either Kane or Eriksen or Ali. He does a lot for this Tottenham team. He's a very underlooked player out of the Kanes and Ali's of the world, but he's wonderful. And since he's been back, they've been just clicking. And that top four there, or that Fab Four there, is just producing for Tottenham.
We're laughing because we just read your headline for this,
yeah.
And it might be the best one.
I want to read it.
It might be the best one. Oh, hit it, Ron.
Batters up.
Yeah, hit it. Our holiday headline from Christmas Vacation for the Tottenham-Bournemouth match.
Tottenham 5, Bournemouth 0. Wouldn't be the holiday fixture season if the Spurs weren't any hotter than they are right now.
There's
brilliant.
A nipple in there. Did I say nipple?
Did I say just
the old you log? Not that I have a log. Not a log.
Tis the season to be merry. That's my name.
That's my name.
Oh my God. I'm really
Spurs on a tear though. Oh.
I'm really I wrote down a note. Usually I write down what you guys say. I wrote a note down for one. It's blank. That means I have no idea. That's always fun when I go back and listen to these.
It's because we've had an 11.5% beer on pretty much no lunch.
On an office party.
We threw down. We had like a brunch at like 11 a.m.
Yeah, that was good though.
Yeah, I made some chorizo. I did.
Yeah, you did.
I think I tweeted Southern American meets British tradition with the festive fixtures. I cooked a chorizo cheese grits with onions and tomatoes.
So good.
Man, it was good.
Jalapenos on there too.
Mm-hmm.
But that was like an hour before the pod.
Yeah,
that's all right.
And I have a pretty speedy metabolism.
Yeah.
Yeah. How long is the pod going here? How long are we going?
Luckily, Ron's last beer is only 10% alcohol.
Oh, no, that's good.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Happy Boxing Day to us.
Happy Boxing Day. Oh, good Lord.
All right, Manchester United
versus Huddersfield. Man United back in glory, beating two crap teams in a row.
Woo!
Hey.
I'll take it, man. Listen, we would have drawn and lost these last two matches, and we're now winning both of them.
I'm just kidding because, again, it is seeing the attitude of the players. I actually don't think it would have mattered what team you played. I think
there's actually smiles on their faces after they score goals.
And let's think about it. You are getting paid a ton of money to go play for one of the most recognized teams in the world. You should be happy. Unless your name is Alexis Sanchez. I'm still not sure where he's at.
Who is fit again. No. Post-match, Solskjaer came out and said Martial, Sanchez, and Lukaku are all fit again.
He's gone, though, right? Sanchez, end of the year?
Nope.
No, I'm not.
Under Mourinho, I think he was, yes.
I'm not making fun. I'm just not sure he... Anyway.
If he comes in and has the Pogba effect and starts scoring goals...
So you have Martial, you have Rashford, you have Lingard, you have Lukaku. Where does he fit? Where does he fit?
Fab Five, baby. Just toss him in there.
But seriously, you can make all those jokes, but where does he actually fit?
I think he fits in the Lingard role. I texted Horn this the other day. Yes, I loved what United was doing, but I think he fits in the Lingard role. You remove Lingard and you put in Martial, Rashford, Pogba. There's that four. You either add Lukaku into that, the five.
Yeah, but he doesn't. That's only against teams less than the top six.
Sure, off the bench, whatever. We'll take goals still.
He's just an expensive guy off the bench, Sanchez. That's why I say
I don't think he's coming off the bench. I think when he's back and he's fit, he will get more starts than he did under Mourinho, and he's also. I think he'll be higher on confidence. And with the way the team's playing right now, if you can fit him in and get him producing more goals and have him on such confidence and creating and doing the things that he did under Arsenal towards the later half of his time there, I think he's going to be golden. If Mourinho was manager until the end of the year, he'd be gone. With Solskjaer there and with a different mentality, I think he now stays, and we see what he can do for the new manager after the interim manager's out.
I don't think that's my argument with you. I maybe kind of agree with that. I think he is so valuable a player that they could offload him and get other pieces to be another one of these teams chasing the top next year. That's, I think, more where I'm coming from. I'm not coming from I think Sanchez will play poorly or anything like that. I just feel like
he leaves out of England. He doesn't stay
I agree.
in the country.
I agree. But maybe that gives them the ability to snag some. That's more where I'm coming from. It's not out of I don't think Sanchez will perform or anything like that. I just think with the pieces that you have, Lingard being younger, right?
I just don't see where he fits in. But at the end of the day, who is he ousting to be part of the second team?
I'm not a big fan of Lingard. I know he's got a couple goals here.
Let's go with where Ron's going, though. What if you sell Sanchez and Lingard and get... Because I still, even in that slot, I am not... Look, dude, this is coming from an Arsenal fan that had those sweet Chilean thighs on the team forever. He's a frustrating thing because he's so good, but not at the right times.
He's hot and cold.
Like so hot and cold. I mean, I'll never forget that FA Cup, that ridiculous goal when they were in the blue and yellow kits. Oh my God. I mean, and you go, that's why you have this guy. But he's a very, if he's not exactly 100% happy, it shows. I don't know what that means with him. Well,
I think that's what you saw here with Mourinho in charge. He has not had the best of times at United thus far.
Yeah, absolutely. Dude went from like a floundering the end of his career Wenger to a really annoying Jose Mourinho. That's gotta suck. But
you think he's got enough to oust Lingard, and then
I don't think for me it's not that for
but
me.
He's gonna have to.
No. Sorry, what I mean by that, Ron, is like it's not Lingard. So much about. I just think he is worth so much money that he is worth getting rid of to gain others.
Sure, but strip that aside.
I mean. We're not a lower league club that need that.
Yeah, but hold on. He's a player that wants to start and wants to go score and wants to win championships.
That was the best thing about him at Arsenal. He'd get angry when he got subbed off.
So the question is, does he outplay Lingard and keep Lingard on the bench to...
I think he does.
I don't know. I really don't. I think he's going to continue to struggle.
I think you can move him into a number 9 position, like a Bobby Chompers, and put him sitting in the number 9 position with Martial and Rashford off on either side. I think that could be deadly.
I'll tell you what, man. This is not me rooting against you. This is him being on my club I supported for forever. I hope you're right, because there was always something weird about him at Arsenal where, God, he's got all the talent in the world. I don't know.
The only hesitation I have against that is Lingard and Pogba seem to have a very good relationship both on the pitch and off the pitch. That could hinder that. So yeah, it could be right. He could come back and not fit in and get into the team because of that.
What if he could go somewhere
and what they're producing? But
what if he could go to a PSG or somewhere where he could go?
Right, then fine. But then I mean, yes, it absolutely could happen. It could possibly go that way. He becomes then another Di Maria, Falcao, whoever that come in for a hot second flash in the pan and then just kind of leave without producing nearly as much as the other two produce. But regardless, United are such a confidence change, such a morale boost at the current time. Yes, it's Huddersfield, it's Cardiff City. Tottenham in 2 weeks, 3 weeks time will be able to tell. But Solskjaer wasn't brought in again to shore up the team and get them for the next 10 years. He was brought in to shore up the team and bandage a very deep wound that was essentially over the entire club. He's doing that so far. He needs to continue doing that. He will lose a game or two. He will not set out the right team all the time, but he's bringing in a different mentality, a different morale boost because he's saying,
as a neutral,
have fun
fun
shoot
to watch.
the ball, score goals. I trust that you guys are the professionals and you guys are the talent that I know you are. Go out, do that. And so far, that's coming true. It took a little while here in this game for United to get to that part to where Pogba was scoring 2 goals. And under Solskjaer so far, 2 games, Pogba has 2 assists and 2 goals. He's playing, he's confident, he's happy. At Pogba's level and the superstar that he is and the talent that he can bring, look what he's done for France, look what he's done for Juventus. If you can bring that out, your team is most times than not going to be successful. Mourinho couldn't bring that out.
Dude, here's the thing.
But what is that?
As a neutral, I love it's way more fun to watch you guys play.
Yes.
And let's take it a step further. As a not neutral, I want Man United to win every single game for the rest of the season.
Thanks, man.
Because every one you do shows the world what an Jose Mourinho was.
But I still think Sanchez is gone. Because
Possibly,
he wasn't even on the bench for this.
He's been out injured. It's not because he hasn't been in form. He's been out injured. He's had a
But all the reports said that he could be on the bench this week.
he could have. But why rush him back against Huddersfield at
You don't
home?
need him. Yeah.
You don't need him.
If it were a different team, I
I
would
bet
agree
you
with
Sanchez starts on Sunday against Bournemouth. I bet you he does.
Because Bournemouth's not an easy club.
Well, and also, why wouldn't you start him against?
Because
Bournemouth
he's not
if
making
you're
an
Solskjaer?
impact.
Because he hasn't made an impact because he's been injured and he hasn't been in the side.
Hold on.
Why not throw out?
Hold on. Go back to the beginning of his time at Man United. He has never made an impact.
Right, but
so
okay,
don't hold on.
We've
Don't
established
say that because he was injured, he didn't make an impact. He's never made an impact.
But we've established, okay, where does he fit into this team? Under Mourinho, he hasn't been confident. He hasn't necessarily been played in the roles that he's used to.
And that's by the way
If
Mourinho
you're
lost his
Solskjaer-
job because Mourinho brought him in
Yeah.
and didn't have a spot for. That's what I mean. That speaks to the
Mourinho Woodward brought him in, yes. But if you're Solskjaer, why aren't you sitting there going, okay, we have 5 games in 40-some days or whatever the stat is. We've won the first 2. Let me see what Sanchez is all about. He's coming back from injury. You're going to toss him into a game and give him the same confidence that you've given the rest of the team and allow him to play and see what you got there.
And
then
really,
that's going to determine whether or not Sanchez pushes Lingard or Martial or whoever out of the team and if he can get into the team.
He should really push him for the FA Cup because the FA Cup would be an excellent thing for Man United to score.
4 games away, though. He's not going to do that.
No. I know that. No. I'm not saying wait that long. I'm saying Man United, he should look at using it. He should really try to say, I want that FA Cup. I might not say this out publicly, but there's not many things we can snag right now. But coming in halfway through the season, taking this position, if he could score the FA Cup, that'd be huge.
Yeah, but you need to see what you got first. And that's where I think Solskjaer
and you don't know what you got till it's gone.
Okay. Thank you.
Put up a parking lot and Parrot what's in the taxi cab. Hey, Paradise.
Wow. You went
parking lot.
You went there.
You're welcome. We have to move on though because I actually have an appointment I have to get to. So
yeah, you do.
We have to move on. So
it's 3:40.
Yeah, I know. We got to move on. So Ron, crack your last one.
Okay.
God, I got to bleep out so much in this episode.
It's a lot of high percentage beers. All right.
The Boxing Day special.
This one is from Flying Monkeys Craft Brewery.
Look at this box.
It comes in literally like a.
It's a box.
Does that say manifesto?
It says the Chocolate Manifesto.
Yes.
Was this a triple chocolate
It is
stout?
a triple chocolate milk stout.
The
But of
box
course.
is hysterical.
10% ABV.
You got to include the box in the picture because that thing is just ridiculous.
Real nice, Clark.
I'll let you hold on to that.
We didn't say the headline for the other game.
Oh, he read the goals were high in entertainment. Where's Eddie? He usually eats these
damn
things. He read the squirrels were high in cholesterol. Even the bottle is ridiculous.
That's bougie as hell.
It's
ain't
got
it?
graffiti all over the whole thing.
It is the triple chocolate milk stout, 10% ABV.
Sure.
From Flying Monkeys Craft Brewing in Canada. And
You want to read this bad boy? It looks like that might be your description right there.
yeah, I was going to read it off the box, but horizontally traded cocoa nibs. Sorry, this is really hard to read.
It is, because each word is in a different font.
Yeah, it's so weird.
That's why it looks bizarre.
And powder from Coco Sol traders in Toronto to give this beer the most authentic and naturally luscious chocolate flavor and aroma. Espresso notes and the toasty tobacco aromas are part of the cocoa beans roasting, as well as the profile of the chocolate malt in this ruby lit, burnt umbered bodied beer. I know. Topped with fine cafe au lait lacing, lactose sweetness gives the manifesto the heavenly body of a milk stout and the indulgence of a craft beer in winter. Brewed in Canada.
And opened by Blake, because Ron will screw this up.
Yeah, he will.
Oh, shove it.
Oh, Canada.
So while he's opening, you can't open it either. Moving on.
Hey, Pat, come here. Let me see the damn thing. There
we
goes.
go.
So,
I think it was off. It just didn't flip off like we're used to seeing.
Yeah.
so this brewery, Flying Monkeys Craft Brewery, is in Canada.
It's got dad jokes under the...
No, it doesn't.
Yeah,
Really?
It's got dad jokes under the cap.
What does the
All
dad
right, go
joke
ahead.
say?
I feel like do I save it for the end of the pod?
No,
Sure.
just go for it. Just go for
Who
it.
cares?
Okay.
Do it.
All right. So the one that it's got, it's under this, it was, sometimes I wake up grumpy. Most times I let him sleep. That's a good
So
one.
this is another listener beer.
What?
Oh, 3 in a
Yeah.
row.
Oh.
Boxing Egg Special.
I did
Love
not
it.
realize that.
This is a listener beer
Has to be your glass there,
Look at that
Ferris.
sucker. That's dark.
from Barrie, Ontario, Canada.
Guys, it smells like I just opened a candy bar over here. Good
Really?
grief. Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait. It's very highly rated on Rate Beer. It's 4.0, 3.9, 3.8 in there. And it is, careful, it is a very dark stout with a very chocolatey head, chocolate notes in there. And it's supposed to be pretty freaking great.
It's Ferris spilled some beer all over the
A
table.
little bit. There's a
Paper
cloth
towels
back
are
over
by
there.
you, bro.
There you go.
We are ridiculous.
I was trying to, yeah, whatever.
I have never heard of this beer.
I've never either. I think I've heard of Flying Monkeys before.
A little beer on my iPad.
They have a host of beers.
Wait, oh God. Wait, this one's yours, right? This is your glass. You
It was
took
like,
Ron's
I'm
glass.
trying to clean off the mess I made over
You
here.
have made a mess of this podcast, is what you've
done.
made.
All right, okay, here we go. We're just going to do a little swap-a-rooney here, and then we're going to pass the chocolate stout over to Ron.
Thank you.
Was it a stout? Is that what you said? No.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
a
yeah,
triple
stout,
chocolate milk stout.
Cheers. Oh, it smells like a friggin' brownie.
Oh, my God, it does.
Oh, wow.
Oh. What?
Ooh, I just got hungry all of a sudden.
What?
Well, this is a shout out to the Dean family for recommending this beer and sending it along for Christmas. It's 10% alcohol by volume. And we have 1 U.S. pint that we are splitting between us.
It has a flying monkey on, like engraved in the bottle.
Dude, seriously, it smells like a brownie.
Really
It's
cool.
got 3 kinds of chocolate in it.
Okay.
A forest garden shade-grown cocoa nib.
Of course.
A roasted whole cocoa powder.
Why not?
And a chocolate malt.
Absolutely.
This is ridiculous.
Can we just already have a sip? Let's do a
All
little
right,
cheers.
I'm
cheers.
too busy smelling it.
All right. Cilantro.
Cheers, man. 3 listener beers in a row.
Thank
This
you
is
all.
great. It tastes like drinking a beer brownie, and
Yes,
it
it
smells
does.
like one.
Oh my God.
Holy cow.
It tastes just like eating a brownie.
It absolutely does.
That's amazing. Again, I love my wife leaned
Yeah,
and poked her head in the
absolutely.
studio and reached her hand out for that beer.
I hear. I want.
Like,
Oh my God.
Holy
That's ridiculous.
cow.
And the thing is, you don't taste any of the 10%.
No.
Mm-mm. Not even a little. It's all chocolate.
Crazy.
Man, that's good. Okay, we got to move on to Ron Soccer News.
Okay.
Because I got to get out to here in a second.
Okay. Moving on to Ron Soccer News. In case you are not aware,
Oh.
Canada has started the Canadian Premier League.
Yes.
Ooh, I did not know that,
We've
though.
seen some, I've seen on our Twitter feeds and stuff. We follow when they first created their stuff. But I didn't really know much about it other than they were going to be creating this.
So here it goes. Essentially, they will start playing in April of 2019, and they have 7 teams.
Are they going to follow the international calendar? Just checking.
Let's not go down that. We're already like
Okay,
2 hours in this
that's so
episode. Do not
awesome.
go down that rabbit hole again.
That's good for Canada. Good for Canada.
There are 7 teams, and I'll go over them real quick. Calvary FC playing in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, in Spruce Meadows Stadium, under the management of Tommy Wilden Jr. That's one of their teams. They have 7. FC Edmonton in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada.
They have a lot of support.
Playing in Clark Stadium under Jeff Paulus.
You serious, Clark?
Serious? Forge FC out of Hamilton, Ontario, playing at, this is the best, Tim Hortons Field.
Dude, I know where that is. I used
great.
to live in Hamilton. I used to live in Burlington outside of Hamilton. I know exactly where that is.
And they're playing under Bobby Simroltas.
Order yourself a double
Bobby Chomper Stadium.
HFX Wanderers FC.
What the what?
Which is a great team name. And they're playing in Halifax, Nova Scotia under the Wanderers Grounds Stadium. And Stephen Hart is their manager. Pacific FC under Victoria, BC, West Hills Stadium. Michael Silborough is their manager. Valor FC in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, and their team is the their stadium is the Investors Group Field under Rob Gale. York 9 FC in the York region in Ontario under Alumni Field, and they will be playing for Jimmy Brennan. So there's a lot going on for this Canadian Premier League. Eventually, they want to have 3 divisions with relegation and essentially a lot like the British Premier League. But they have the makings of a really good setup. They have to have a specific amount of Canadians in their roster. 75% of the players on their roster have to be Canadian. The whole idea behind this league is to grow the game specifically in Canada.
Because
So
right
a
now,
lot like the Premier League with the homegrown
but also
players.
their national team has gotten better. Their women's team especially. But over the years, I mean, this is a huge push.
It is a ginormous push in the realm to grow soccer in Canada, which is amazing because I really think one of the things that's going to be amazing is that they're going to give the MLS a run for their money, and competition breeds success. So the MLS has kind of been the only North American soccer league, and they've kind of done whatever they wanted. Now they've got a little bit of competition, so it's really going to make them have to figure out.
I mean, there's the NASL and USL, but MLS has had the money. And
yeah. So they're trying to expand a lot in the next few years, but they're going to start 2019 with seven teams, and I think they're going to be rather successful. The business model they have set up and the way they are expanding, it's not going to be franchise like the MLS is, and it's going to be team buy-in. So that's much more. That's much more European.
it's like a cross between the two almost. Yeah.
It's much more European, and that means that they're going to be able to have a lot more flexibility going forward than the MLS does. So there's a lot. You should check it out. The Canadian Premier League, CanPL is the way you should look it up, and they're Their logo's pretty sweet. It's got the Canadian maple leaf with the various colors of Canada. They're going to be part of CONCACAF, so all of the teams can play in the various
CONCACAF Champions League.
Yep. So there's
that's cool.
The Canadians have been slowly putting this together since 2013, and I feel like they've put it together pretty smart.
Well, they get the benefit of watching what MLS has done.
Correct.
Seeing the popularity of what the Premier League in England has done in North America. They kind of get sounds like they're being smart by watching.
And they've taken their time with it. They're not doing this all in 1 year. It's like it's been planned since 2013. They've built up to it. They have a plan in place. They're following through with that plan. They're also allowing their young talent and saying, hey, you have to have that young talent. You have to build within, not just buy players from outside like the MLS has necessarily done over the past several years.
True. And one of the things they're trying to go for is essentially in the long term being better. And they didn't draw this comparison. I am. They're trying to be overall better than the MLS. Go check them out. www.canpl.ca.
It's going to take them a few years, but I'm curious to see where they sit in, say 3 years.
Yeah. I think 3 to 5 years, they're going to be a very strong North American league as compared to the MLS because of the way they're building it. In the next 4 years, they're supposed to have 10 expansion teams. And I feel like their expansion plans are better organized and better understood than the MLS was. Remember, we were having such questions about the MLS expansion. Was it too fast? Is the league going to be able to support all these extra teams that are coming into the league? The Canadians have figured out a way to forecast this and kind of plan for all of the teams that they think are going to end up in the Canadian Premier League. And I think they've got a smart plan going forward. Again, I agree with you. They had the MLS to look at and see what to do, what not to do, what was smart, what wasn't as smart. But it's pretty slick. And I think I wouldn't be surprised if they are kind of the league to follow going forward in North America after a couple years. Now, also a question is, what is the MLS going to do with the Canadian teams they have, considering the Canadian Premier League starts? So,
well, I guess it'll be if the Canadian Premier League really took off. I mean, I guess those clubs could decide whether they want to leave, but they're franchises, not independent clubs. That gets real messy.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing to look at going forward. But 7 teams starting in April of 2019. Check out the Canadian Premier League. I think it's going to be something fun to watch.
Interesting, for sure.
That's pretty sweet soccer news.
Yeah, it's always great when another league sprouts up, really going after talent, the love of the game.
And they want to build the game, yeah.
They want to build in their country. They want to
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, gents, I think that wraps up our Boxing Day special. As always, follow us on Twitter at Brutiful Game. You can follow us on Facebook. Search for us on Instagram. The best place or the most fun place is the Untapped, where you can see the beers that we're trying. We need to get better about. We always check in with beers. We don't necessarily check in with the ones we try on the show.
I noticed that.
We have to. We check in.
Yeah,
we check in on. But on our show, you can obviously go to our website, thebrutifulgame.com, and you can see the beers that we're trying. But we'll get better about checking on Untapped as well. But we want to follow you guys as well to see what it is that you come from there. See what you're drinking. Again, Matt Call, Jason Horn, and who else was our third listener beer?
Terry Dean.
Man, freaking
thank you all
great.
Very much.
These beers were all excellent. Thank you all so much. If you want to leave us a rating or review, please take a screen grab, send it to us either through our through our email, thebrutifulgame@gmail.com, or any various social media, and we will get you a magnet and a koozie out to you. And I think that wraps us up.
I think so.
All right, gentlemen.
Happy New Year, folks.
Yeah, Happy New Year. We'll talk to you in 2019.
Happy Boxing Day.
Yeah. Love the beer. Cherish the game. The Brutiful Game.
You serious, Clark?